Yes, it's Monday. It's the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. We are back. One more night, Pete. One more night. Guys, I'm going on vacation like Wednesday. So Brazil Expat Journal will be off the air for about a month. But until then, we're going to have fun, which is tonight. Tonight, we're going to have a lot of fun because I got my friend Renee on. If you're a fan of the show, like Pete said, we were backstage. I had forgotten to put Renee's bio up. I'm like, no. And then Pete's like, they know who Renee is. We know who Renee is. So we'll definitely have her on. And in fact, she's in the back there. Renee, if you want to say hi, you can. Feel free. Hello, Peter. How are you?
I'm good, and I,
All
I
right.
actually want to take this opportunity to
Oh, here we
officially
go.
apologize to Renee for not
Ooh.
meeting up with her in Rio de Janeiro because we planned on doing that. But
Oh,
I'm one of these
I didn't know about
losers.
this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm one of
Me
these
too.
losers
We're gonna
who
have to figure
doesn't
out
have
that.
like an actual cell phone plan.
Oh,
So, and I don't know the city.
I
And when
see.
I got there, everything was really confusing to figure out. Like, if I went
Yes.
back now, I could figure it out because we could just say, like, meet at Copacabana, like number
What?
17, and it would be so
Yes.
easy. And I felt like such an idiot for missing out on that opportunity.
Man, and
And it would
missing
have been
that's
really great to have a tour guide. So Renee, I'm really sorry, but I had no idea where I was going, and was just making things up as I went along.
there you
No
go.
worries, no worries at all. Listen, I understand how it is anyway in traveling in general. So not a big deal. It's good. It's good. I'm just glad you had a good time. You enjoyed yourself.
I
And
found Jesus. He's at the top of a mountain.
yes.
Yes. That's great. I didn't know there was this whole background, little love thing going here. Pete and Renee meeting up in Rio. I need to talk to Renee off air about this. I don't know how I feel about this, Renee. Guys, by the way, Renee's got her camera on. I usually turn mine off because it's freezing down here. You see, I got the whole moccasin thing going with the hats.
Yeah.
But
That's
Renee
right.
looks
It's
so
winter. It's
beautiful.
almost it's winter time there.
Oh, yes, it is definitely winter time in Sao Paulo, and we're feeling
Although
it. So,
today was nice, though. Today it was like it got up to 25
yes,
degrees.
it was a bit nicer today. It was a bit nicer today. So, guys, real quick, before we really get into it, and tonight we're going to be talking dating in Brazil because, as you know, Renee, Dr. Prandara Prem, I got it right on the first try. She
Yes.
is a sex therapist. She is a psychologist. She just works with a lot of couples and healing, and she gets a lot of people down here in Brazil to do a lot of work with healing, especially women, but she's worked with men and women. She's got her YouTube channel, Dr. Prandara Prem. She's got her Instagram, Prandara Prem underline Tantra. And she always comes on and we talk about just how to relate to people in Brazil because Brazil is a country that is difficult to navigate when it comes to this because it kind of catches you by surprise a little bit, Renee, I think, right? It seems like it's very similar to US, it's Western culture until it just isn't, and
Right,
the
exactly.
rug gets pulled out from under you. So we'll be talking about that. But before we get there, the real news of the day is Brazil. Did you watch the game today? Did you watch?
Oh my God, I
Oh,
missed it today.
oh no.
I
Oh
know.
no. All right.
I
Well,
missed it.
it was a pretty good game. It was a tight game. Japan's not like a pushover type teams, and they got the first goal. But then Brazil, the narrative was nice because it was like, can Brazil come back? Because in the second period, they started playing and they got a goal. Brazil did 1-1, and then they got a second goal at the very end of the game. It was
It
really
sounded like they scored like 3 goals in a row because I didn't watch the
no.
game either. But I live over 3 bars, so of course every time someone goes nuts, you assume it was a goal. So
Oh no,
yeah.
because there were, you know what happened, Pete? There was a few that got taken back, which is what happened.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
That
because I
that
mean it was all
explains
time.
the groans. There
Yes,
were a lot of unhappy sounds as well.
yes, and I do want to give a shout out. We were talking about this a bit in the WhatsApp group that we got. about Kaze TV. Okay, and Kaze TV, guys, is where you can watch a lot of these games here in Brazil online or up there in the US. It's CAZE. And I had mentioned the other, I think a couple of weeks ago, how me and Eduardo were watching a game. And I thought it was, pretty fine watching it on here, but he's like, let's watch it in English. I was like, are you serious? So we put it on the BBC or whatever. It's so boring. If you want the real emotion with the guy screaming and this and that and the third, you got to watch it here. Look at this guy. He's got 36 million subscribers and he's just a regular dude. I found out, Renee, a little bit about this guy's story today. Our friend Jordan kind of broke it down how in the last World Cup or whatever it was, Globo, which is the big network down here, they sold the rights to like exclusive rights to the World Cup. It's a weird story. It's like, long story short, they didn't have exclusive rights anymore. So out comes this guy, and he's on whatever those things are, Destroyed. I forgot the name now. Where you kind of live stream live television. Um, and it just his channel grew. His channel grew until he got the YouTube channel. Now he's got like 36 million subscribers. It's a happy story for somebody that kind of bucked the system and bucked the big guy. And he's pretty funny. Like he was, they always have extra time at the end of the game if there's injuries and stuff like that. And he's like, Judge, end this game because the guy it went on for 10 minutes. Like he's a vagabundo, he's a loser, he's this. It's great, because they can say that without getting in trouble. So
I'm so
watch it
glad
on
you
there.
shared this. I'm so glad you shared this because
Uh-huh.
I was watching one of the games on some other place that I found on YouTube, and it
Yes.
sucked. And so
Yes.
I need, and that's one of the reasons I missed the game today because I'd like to go out and watch it because I didn't have a place, and then my thing on TV on my phone, I was like, it looks like it's not even real, and the commentary sucked. So you better believe I will be checking out Kaze TV to not miss any more games.
There you go. And now it's when things are heating up. For me, the World Cup starts now because it's a knockout stage. You win or you go home. There's no turning back. So that was a
Yeah.
really
And
exciting game.
Canada actually won two games in this
Canada's
tournament,
in. Yeah,
which
Pete.
is two more than they've won in their
Ever.
entire World Cup history. I think actually, I don't think they'd actually ever scored a goal in the history of the World Cup, and they
Oh, really?
scored like six against Qatar.
Oh
So
wow.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
do have to share on that note. I was
Yes.
so excited to see Haiti and Brazil play because two
That was
love,
nice.
right? And it was good. And what really made it nice was all the love from everyone. I went to go see it,
Mm-hmm.
and the Brazilians, I had on my Brazil and my Haiti, my Haiti flag and my Haitian shirt and Brazil shirt. I'm carrying both. And people were like, oh my God, Haiti, Brazil. And we're like, we just found out how much love we have for each other, you know,
Yes.
as two countries. And it was just so amazing, so beautiful. And I do have to say, I was so excited that Haiti scored two goals against Morocco in the World Cup. That was a big deal. And I was
It
happy.
is.
Yeah, it was really a big
there were
deal.
some Japanese supporters at the bars under my house today, which was in retrospect not surprising to see because Sao
Mm-hmm.
Paulo has like the largest Japanese
Mhm.
population outside of Japan. But I was like, man, the balls on those kids, man, because most
I was
people were not rooting for Japan.
No, but I was gonna mention, when Renee mentioned the camaraderie with Haiti and Brazil. When you said that, that's the first thing that came to mind. It's like they don't have to have really. It's not a courageous thing to do. Like it's very loving down here. There are a lot of Japanese people down here, so wearing a Japanese shirt, you're not gonna get beat up. Because that's the one thing that's lovely about the World Cup. If you want to get all poetic about it, is that it does kind of bring the world together, whatever, however you want to call that. But it's a fun time. It's a party.
It
It's
is.
not super like, oh, I want to kill the, unless it's like Brazil versus Argentina. You have a few that
No,
are like
well,
Yeah.
heated
no,
rivalries.
but what I
But
noticed in the last World Cup is
yeah.
that once Brazil was eliminated, everyone was rooting for Argentina. And like Argentina are their arch soccer rivals,
This
but
is
like
true.
when it comes down to it, they'd rather see a South American team
Oh
win
yeah.
than a European team.
Of
Oh yeah.
course, and you got
I mean,
Messi,
Argentina's
dude.
a
Messi's
neighbor.
a genius.
Argentina's Brazil's neighbor,
Yeah,
right? So it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
obviously Brazil wants to win when it's Brazil versus Argentina, but if Brazil is out, or even I feel like Argentina would probably be the same. If Argentina is out, they would want Brazil to win. You know,
Exactly.
that
yeah. At
I
the
don't know,
end,
I don't know, but that's what I would feel. And just
yes,
even like, even just watching like I went to the fan festival during the Mexico game. Was it? Yeah, it was Mexico, and the Mexicans, they were out and the energy was just so live. And I think, it's like the Latino cultures, the Latino countries, it's like their energy. And so when you think about Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, and even one of the Colombian games, I was sitting and I was watching it at a sports bar, and some Colombian ladies were there and they're sharing, and it's just I love to see that energy and that connection, and people just
yeah.
it brings people together, like you were saying,
It
it
does.
brings
It
people together.
does.
You know,
It's nice. It's very nice. Time, um, and we'll see how far Brazil gets. I don't think they can win, but they show flashes of greatness every once in a while. But like when you got Messi out there in France and all this, I mean, those teams are really
yeah,
hard. Uh,
man.
and listen to this, Renee, before we really get into it. But although I feel this is part of it, I saw this video on Instagram and I really want to get your opinion on it. And before we do that, though, look, Nomadic Detours here. Is that a fan of yours or is that a new fan of the show? I'm not sure. But hello there, Mr. Nomadic Detour. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to have some fun tonight. And thanks to everybody that's tuning in. We have just broken past 2,500 subscribers. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're working, man. Me and Pete have been real consistent here on YouTube. I think we've been on direct for like the last 8, 9, maybe 10 episodes, maybe one day off here because of a holiday.
It's been most of the year.
Yes, we've been really getting it this year, and I would just want to thank everybody that's supporting the channel. Um, and Nomadic Detour, thanks for coming in. But Renee, tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about. And by the way, Renee looks beautiful. She was telling me how like, oh, you guys aren't on camera. Yeah, guys, we do it more, radio style.
Yeah,
But
we have faces made for radio.
exactly, face is made for radio. You.
Well, I wish I would have had my avatar. Can I put on my an avatar? Like,
Of course you can. Yeah, while I'm here, like if I cover us up like that, that gives you time to put an avatar. But if you want to stay on, that's fine. It's
that's
just
fine.
that,
I don't even know how to do it.
uh
Oh, edit
yes,
avatar. I don't even know.
you look
I've been
gorgeous.
wearing
Stay
the
on.
same sweater for 2 weeks. Like I can actually smell myself.
Oh boy. Oh my God. Anyway, TMI, TMI. Hello, Phil, Pete, and guest. MG is here. What's up? You came in at just the right time. If you came in a little bit earlier, well, there you go. We came on a little bit earlier. We are live. I'm on vacation mode. But look at this video, Miss Prandara Prem, because it's this lady and she's talking about something that I think has a lot to do with Brazilian mentality of things not being that orderly here. And that I think connects directly to what we're going to talk about, which is dating culture and things like that. So let me play this, you know, real quick, and then I want your comments. So here we go. Why do
Instead of planning. Well, long term planning only works when systems are predictable. In many of our countries, opportunities appear and disappear really fast. So people learn to move quickly instead of waiting to follow a plan.
Look around. A lot of the economy is informal.
It's very hard to make a 5-year plan. People are worried about today's opportunities and today's dinner. Hustling, of course, has its negatives. You can't rest. When you stop, money stops. You depend on luck. You have good days, you have bad days. But hey, when you can't control the system, the only thing you can control is your effort. Planning is too abstract. Hustling feels real. If you're an African watching this, are you a hustler, are you a planner, or both? Let me know and correct me if I'm wrong.
All right. So what do you think about that as it relates to Brazilian culture, Renee?
Wow. So it's so funny as she was talking. I've lived in Brazil, in Rio and Salvador. And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, and I imagine it's so different in Sao Paulo. You know, um, You just put just me. Ooh, you see
Yeah.
my picture in the background now.
There you go. There you go.
So it's so funny. Like with Rio and Salvador, that hustle mentality is real. It's real.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, do you really want money? Are you really putting in the effort?
Yeah.
So, because I feel like Bayanos, the Cariocas, it's almost like you got to drag them for work, for money, for
Hmm.
relationships, for everything. They're
Mhm.
so chill. And when I say drag them, like they could be really fast and aggressive, but then they're chill, if that makes sense. And
I
it's
Yeah,
like,
get
no, it
you.
makes sense because Sao
Absolutely.
Paulo is like a workaholic culture. Like people almost define themselves by how many hours they put in at their jobs.
I know.
Like, oh my God, I started work at 8 in the morning and I didn't finish until 11 p.m. And they have really complex jobs too, because it's the financial capital of Latin America.
Yes.
And in Rio de Janeiro and Salvador and other major Brazilian cities, it feels like people don't have that commitment to their work. Their commitment is to making money.
Yeah.
And if you want to make money without doing work, you got to take some shortcuts.
right.
And it's
Hmm.
a
And
more
they do
cynical
that a lot.
attitude, like
Yeah, they
like what
do.
this girl says in the video.
Yeah, and I feel like, in Sao Paulo, they definitely work more, right? They're like, I want to make money. They're working more. In Rio and Salvador, they want to make money, but they also don't want to work. But
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't even know if I want to say they don't want to work. It's hot. It's hot. They're
It
Hmm.
tired.
is.
And so one of the things when I moved out there and I would want something done, I'm like, I have to stay on top of them to make sure it gets done,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
so it's just I'm like, oh my God, you know. And then even with the relationships, it's like you gotta stay on top of them. What do you want? Where are you at? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
we're gonna talk, and I know we're gonna go more into this, so I'm
Yes.
excited. And I just have to say real quick, Captain Alex says dating tip number one in Brazil for women. Don't. That was
Is
hilarious.
there, do we
Yeah.
seriously have a follower named Captain Alex?
I
Because
guess
that
we
is
do.
so ironic.
Why?
Don't you remember that Nigerian movie we saw on YouTube? Who killed
Oh,
Captain Alex?
yes, which is classic. Oh God,
It
I love that
is,
movie. I
yeah.
love that movie. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of the tips. So what Renee is saying is true, guys. It's
Oh wait,
mercurial down
so
here. It's
wait.
tough. Go
Speaking
ahead.
speaking about Nigerian movies. Oh, I'm so sorry. There was
Go
a there
ahead.
was a little lag there with the internet. Speaking of
Mhm.
Nigerian movies, did y'all see the series called The Polygamist?
No, what's that about?
No.
Okay, we're gonna have to watch. Y'all gonna have to watch it. It's 22 episodes, and we're gonna have to talk about that and compare that to the relationships in Brazil. Like we're really
Oh,
gonna have to do
oh,
that.
all
The
right. I'm down.
Polygamist.
20,
So it
22
is.
episodes of a Nigerian TV series. That could be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
I'm down.
Nigerian, but I know the native language is Zulu.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know
Is
where
that
do they
South
speak Zulu?
Africa? Let me
I guess in
see.
South Africa. I don't think because Nigeria, I know they speak Yoruba,
Yeah, the
but
Polygamist TV
polygamy.
show. We'll
And
go
so
ahead. Go ahead.
they talk a lot about it's about this guy who's dating. It's not really about polygamy, right? But he's cheating, and I don't want to give it away because we're gonna talk about this later, and I don't want any spoilers. But he's
Mm.
like cheating on the women, and then it ends up where okay, the one of the women's like, okay, you can marry the other women, and because it was like worrying about how their image and how they portrayed themselves. But it's so quick. I binged it in 2 days. You can binge it. It goes really fast,
Like
and
30-minute episodes?
yeah, I think it's like 30-minute episodes. Uh
Okay.
yeah, because it goes so quick. Some people have watched it in a day, and we're gonna have to talk about that.
It's popular.
Going in, yeah.
Nice.
So
Haven't heard of
yeah,
a. So I'm on vacation now, so I got a little bit of time to watch stuff like this. So I'll check that out.
watch it, and then when you get back, let's plan that live. The Polygamist.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Yo, El Camelo, what's up? We are talking love, sex, lies, all that. What is it? Sex, lies, and videotapes in Brazil.
Sex, lies,
So,
and videotape.
here we go. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. First, I got a few topics here, guys, and then I'll mention the topic, and you tell me how you think it relates to your experience and things you've seen in general. The first one is love bombing versus genuine affection. How to tell the difference between normal Brazilian warmth and manipulative behavior. Yo, this is tough because Brazilians are so friendly. They ingratiate themselves into your lives before you know it. I remember Renee that told a story about this once, I think, right? Some guy you were dating, and then before you know it, you were living with him and you didn't even realize it, or was it vice versa? I had the same thing happen to me. Where like all of a sudden, like I'm living with somebody for 2 months that I did not plan, and it's sneaky, it's the warmth, but then really it's like that you realize later, oh, they're just manipulating you. They just like, okay, it's a gringo with some
I
money.
don't. I don't even know if they know it's manipulating.
Well,
I
that's
think
true.
it's
This is true.
more what you would call latching on in English.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right, I
so
don't know. What do you
I
think?
think Brazilians move fast anyway in general, right? And one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that I've noticed, they don't like to be alone. And so
True.
soon as they break up with one person, they're already in a relationship with someone else. And maybe they were already seeing that person before they broke up with
This is
the
true
person they
also.
broke up with. Right? So, you know, um, and then so yeah, I don't know if it's like an intentional type of love bombing, but they don't like to be alone. They like to
Mhm.
do stuff together. And it's like, yeah, I told you that this was like within my first 6 months of moving to Brazil. I ended up moving in with this guy. This was in Salvador. But I do want to say, I don't feel like he was after my money or anything like that because he was never
Mhm.
asking me for money. Now, I've had people do that, right?
Yes, yes.
Because that's very common. But
Very.
like this guy in particular, he's never asked, he was grocery shopping, he would cook, he would clean, he was doing everything for me. Maybe I just kind of had that energy of queen energy where he was like,
Mhm.
oh, let me do everything for her. I don't know. But he was taking care of me. So
Yes,
yeah, but it does happen real quick. It happens really quick. Also,
exactly.
and I
but
want
but how did it go wrong though?
oh, that's a whole story. So I brought a friend of mine
Okay.
that
Well,
I
that's
met.
why we're here. That's
Yeah,
why we're here. We want to
yeah.
hear that part.
But this goes to Brazilian relationships. So a friend of
Yeah.
mine that I had met in Argentina, I was like, she was coming through, she was visiting. I was like, hey, come stay with us. I would never do that again. I learned real quick.
God.
He falls in love with her
Oh
because they fall
no.
in love quick. And he's like,
Yes.
I'm in love with both of you. Um, I want you both to stay here and live with me and be my woman. I'm like, what?
Oh man.
All right, that goes
Yeah.
right back to the
You
polygamist.
know, I'm sorry to say,
Go
I
ahead.
have actually heard this story before in Canada, actually. So it's not unique to Brazil, but yeah, it does take a Brazilian pair of balls to like really like actually say that to someone's face. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
And it's
Right.
listen, but what Pete said, I'm sorry, Renee. It's just what Pete said. It's true. It's not none of the stuff we're gonna be talking about is unique to Brazil. It's just it seems to happen more often here. It's way more
It
fluid
does,
here.
yeah.
Yes, that's the
I
key
mean,
there.
I've seen it in Canada too, but
Yeah.
here it seems to be more frequent.
Yeah, it's like Tuesday. It's a Tuesday afternoon here, where
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like, by the way, Renee, I'm in love with two women. This happened to me, Renee,
But
when I
I
went to
still want
Salvador.
you, so it's not a
Yes,
complete insult.
exactly. Look,
Right. Right. I mean, come on. He had two beautiful women living in his house, and he's like, "Ooh, I can get this from her, and I can get this from her. Why not?" And
exactly.
Exactly.
I will say, I respected that he was upfront and honest with me about it.
Yes,
Quite a safe
yes.
ground.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
like a lesser man would have like, just run off with her or run off with you, but
or
no,
just
he
try to have
swung
sex
for the
with both
fences,
of
man. He tried
them.
to get you both.
Yeah. And a lot of men, and I think even in Brazil, have done this. Like a lot of them will cheat, right? anywhere, and women cheat too. So I'm not, I don't want to just talk about the men. There's a lot of women that cheat, and there's a lot of stuff that happens that I've heard that women do, right? In Brazil when it comes to dating. But a lot of them, men and women, they would just cheat and not say anything. And I don't know, I don't know if my friend would have if he would have tried to go that route. Who knows? Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's nice that he was upfront.
I actually met this girl on Tinder who she
oh,
flat up told me, and she sent me a nudie video too, which was
Okay.
provocative. But she said, I want you to know I have a boyfriend, but I'm also in school and I need money for my tuition. So are you willing to pay for it? And of course I was like, bitch, no. No, like that's not what I'm on Tinder for. I don't even use Tinder anymore because it's a prostitute
Cesspool.
magnet, really. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that she came right out and told me that. Like I have a boyfriend and I'm not gonna break up with him, but I want you to pay for my school, and in exchange for that, I'll have sex with you. And I was like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
no.
And guys, what we're talking about is interesting in a way because, like we said, it's kind of common in people would just kind of say it to you. It's kind of insulting, like in a way, but then you realize, like Pete said, I don't think Brazilians realize they're being insulting. Like I've met people like at a club the day, like in the next day, we're just talking on WhatsApp, normal. We didn't even fuck or anything, maybe just kissy kissy, but whatever. And it's like, oh, do you have 10 reais so I can, catch the bus? I'm like, what? It's like just the next day. It's like, at least let's do something before you ask me for 10 bucks. So it's weird, but it's very, I don't know how to describe it. It's just
But you know
the
what
Yeah.
they
way people
do?
are. Yes.
They ask you for a small amount first that seems so
Hmm.
insignificant. Then that's
Yes.
where they know, okay, I got him or I got her.
Exactly. And then
So
what did I do? I did not give that 10 reais. So that's great advice because we do what we were talking about red flags. That's one of them. When people start asking you for like that 10 bucks and you just met them, that's a red flag that you're dealing
right.
with somebody that's
And
going to
then
be a manipulator.
right. And then when you give it, because you might be like, oh, $10, 10 reais, that's like $2, two
Yes.
American dollars. That's nothing. I'll give it. But then they're
Yes.
like, ooh, okay, I got this one. And the next
Mhm.
next in the next week or next month, they're gonna be like, oh my God, this happened. You got 20
Yeah.
reais. The next
Mhm.
100 reais,
Yes.
500
Brazilians are a
reais.
lot better at this than the Chinese are, because I will tell
Mhm.
you, like the Chinese will like straight out ask you for like 500 renminbi. Like you're white, you're a foreigner, you must be rich. So like you got 500 bucks, and they're like, are you crazy? Like, I mean,
Yes.
yeah. The thing is, in China, you actually do have that kind of money, but it's still a considerable amount of money, and you're not just going to give it over to somebody you met like 3 days ago.
I agree. I agree. And let me, because I do want to move on here to other topics. Uh, what about jealousy disguised as love? Okay, this protectiveness that Brazilians can have sometimes, which I feel crosses a line into controlling behavior, and it kind of gets back in this manipulative thing too, where they're gonna test the waters at first and see, oh, is this an easy one or not? And when you show that you open the door, man, they come in very fast. So have you ever dealt with this, Miss Renee, with jealousy disguised as love and people just being very controlling with that? I have.
Yeah, yeah, that's very common. And honestly, I remember talking with someone and they actually believe I was talking to some other women in Brazil and they were like, yeah, that's how I know he loves me. So
Mm.
That's dysfunctional.
it
Explain
is.
All
that.
all red flags, when you see the world through rose tinted glasses, they just
Hmm.
look like flags.
Yes. And thank you for sharing my Instagram.
Yes,
And
yes.
by the way, that is my also my TikTok, same handle, Prandawa Prim
Well,
underscore Tom.
let me get that up. Let me get that up.
Okay. Yeah. So it's funny because Brazilians are so like passionate. They have so much energy, and yeah, and
And
there's
insecurity as
and
well, too.
insecurity. Yes, Pete. A lot of insecurity, right? And so that possessiveness, like this is my woman, this is my man, and it's on both ends, right? Men and women feel the same way with whoever they're dating. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you belong to them, and
Yeah,
so
guys.
yeah,
No,
and so
go
it's
ahead.
like
Go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
you talk to someone else, and they're like, "Who is that? Who you?" Oh my God, I had a friend. He's American, and he happened to go to the States. He was coming back to Brazil, and I was like, "Hey, can you bring me back some sheets from Target? These silk satin sheets, right? Because the quality of sheets in Rio and Brazil are not as good." So I was like, "Can you bring that back?" So he met with me with my girl. Make sure that's the right TikTok as well.
Is that the right one? Because I do see that there's new page alerts.
No, I have another one that's underscore 2000 underscore tantra. Yeah, there's less
Let me
followers
see.
than this one, but I
Send
redid
it
it.
in the. Oh, there it is. Rondava Prem underline Tantra. Oh, I see it right there.
Yeah, that's the new one. So there's less followers than the other one, but I restarted my
Cool.
page, so I got to build it back up. But
Nice, nice.
thank you. So I asked him. So he says, okay, there was like a free show on Rio on the beach, and he's like, okay, meet me here. I'm gonna be with my girl, and I'll give you the sheets that I bought from you from the States. So I meet him. I meet the girl. I'm like, hey, beautiful woman, right? Get the sheets. I was not attracted to him. Never had any type of relationship with him. Okay, get it. We're hanging out. Next day, he wants to
Rawr.
talk to me
Wow.
because she told him to block me. And then she's sending me a message. Oh, if you're messing around with my man, blah, 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 you just need to let me know. And I'm like, block? I just
What you
blocked her. I
talking
said,
about, Cletus?
what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
First of all, if I was messing around with him, why would he have me meet you to give you
Why
the
would he introduce you to his girlfriend?
exactly? He would have met me
Wow.
by himself to give it to me so we could use those sheets, you know,
Yeah.
so we could baptize those fresh sheets that he bought me. I'm like,
Man,
are you
but
not
it's
thinking?
but look at this, guys. While we were talking about cheating, I looked up like the cheating stats here in Brazil. 63 to 80% of Brazilians admit to having been unfaithful at least once in their lives. And it's pretty split between men and women. So I think Brazilians are just generally like they're distrustful of each other. I don't think they trust that anybody is being faithful here in this
Yeah,
country.
and I think they're also backing up their options too. They're
Yeah,
like, if this one
Mm.
doesn't work out, then maybe this one will.
Yes, the famous
But
listinha, the
unfortunately,
little
what
list.
happens is they
Yes.
sabotage both of them and they
yeah,
wind up alone.
But yes and no, Pete, because it
oh
seems
yeah,
like everything's so fluid and everybody's just in on the same game that it's like I got my little list of contacts. I lived this life for like a long time. I'm pretty much
yeah,
married now, like for the last 2 years. So I
yeah.
kind of got it after a while. Like I figured it out. It's all about like having a little list of contacts and you're going out with one person on one day. The next weekend you're
Yeah,
hanging out
but
with somebody.
it's one thing if you're in a committed relationship with somebody and you're like, you're my one and only, right? But there is
Yes.
also this understanding that exists in most cultures where it's like, okay, I'm dating you, but you're not my girlfriend or boyfriend. In
Mhm.
which case, it's
Mm.
okay to see other people, right? Like
Oh,
there
trying
is
to
a
figure that
difference
out in
between
Brazil
the
is
two.
hard.
That's hard.
Yeah, I know.
Because here they have like, well, Eduardo just came. Maybe he can help me figure it out. Because it's like you have the ficante, and then you have the namorico. My friend loves to call
The
it Rebecca. She
paquera,
always call it, yeah, the paquera, and then there's the namorico, and then
yeah,
there's like this all these phases of like, is it just a friend I'm doing? Is it somebody
right.
that I'm seeing a lot, but we're not really committed? Are we shacking up, but then still getting something on this? Man, before you figure it out, that's why it's so important communication. And I
Hmm.
always tell Renee, I thank her so much for this because one of the things that I wasn't that good at is communicating my feelings about things like this, relationship wise. And ever since I've just been better at being able to communicate how I feel, it's made the whole process of dealing with people that can't communicate well better, right? Because they're just not willing to deal with somebody that wants to talk, right? They're gonna
Right.
you're gonna scare them off. So I think that's so important, guys, to for you, in order to avoid a lot of these traps we're going to talk about, is to for you got to be very clear. I know it's exhausting at first, but you're going
Mhm.
to eventually, like, kind of what's the word, you sift through it and you end up with like the good ones, like you will do end up with the good folks at the end. Renee, what about this? Financial red flags. Well, we talked a little bit about borrowing money early, expecting gifts, treating you like an ATM, but a lot of times too, and I say this, it's a touchy subject. It's a
Yeah.
sensitive topic, especially when it comes to black folks that travel down here. One second. Gatinho, você fecha a porta porque tá muito barulho. Você tá pegando tudo aqui nesse microfone. Sorry about that. I'm yelling at Eduardo. Uh,
Close that door.
this microphone, I told Renee, like we've gone, we've what it leveled up here on the show, and I got this real nice mic, man, but it picks up everything, and I'm hearing everything in my ear out in the kitchen. He's about to make dinner. Um,
And I do
but
want to say real quick, Phil and Pete, y'all inspire me. I need to get
yes,
back to doing my YouTube.
you
So thank you
should,
for having
woman.
me on here. I need
Oh
to.
yeah, you got to. You're great, and you gotta have me back on because I
Yeah.
love being a guest on your show because it's so much fun, man. I used
Yeah,
to have a
I will
lot.
have to get a YouTube account because I got kicked off Facebook. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm working on getting Pete on social media, man, because he's got a good voice
Yeah.
for this. So we're working something out with Pete here. But what I wanted to say is this: if you're black and you're down here, you're especially sensitive to this because usually, you want to meet other black folks, you want to date other black folks, and there's a disparity socially, financially, educational wise. Especially, that's why I'm mentioning especially black folks that may not be if you're a white guy coming down here trying to date white women. So you got to keep that in mind because
Mhm.
that's when these issues come in with like discerning when it's okay that okay, I get it, this person doesn't have as much money in me as me, maybe I'll buy lunch. And why am I buying lunch every single time we're going out? Right, to the point where it gets frustrating. Have you had to deal with this here, Renee, especially as a woman, right? Because
Yeah.
you kind of have that idea of like the man provides, but
the man should pay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how
And
was that?
that was the tough thing, because I had always said, "Oh man, expat man that's coming in, he has it good, right? He can get with the woman, but as a woman trying to get with a Brazilian man, it's so much harder
Ooh,
because
I agree.
oftentimes we might have more money than them, right?
Yes.
But going back to what you were saying, like when we are talking about the communication, that's important. And the my last boyfriend in Brazil that I had, we communicated about that, and I made it clear boundaries. I won't be paying for everything, right? Like we just had a great conversation, and we traveled together. And when we traveled together, I said, okay, I'll pay for the rent of the Airbnb because I
Yeah,
know I had certain standards of where I wanted to stay, and he might not be
of
able to afford that.
course.
So I'm
Of
like, okay,
course.
I'll pay for the Airbnb, but you'll pay for all of the meals. And he agreed to that. So
That's
now,
good.
he paid for all the meals. We were gone for a week, had a great time. Now, I went to the places that he felt like he could afford, and they were nice. Like the food is going to be good anyway, right?
Yes, anywhere, right?
There. So, I was fine with that. Now, the one time I really wanted to like really do it up and get lobster dishes and drink some champagne when I really the bubblies. I was like, look, if you want me to pay for this because I chose this, I will. But he was like, no, it's okay. And so he had it. Now, when we left, he was like, I spend a whole lot of money. I'm gonna have to work my butt off. So he starts working more to make up for that money. But it was having that conversation because for me, I do want a provider, right? Like I'm traditional in that,
Mhm,
and I
mhm.
don't want to be the provider. Now, everyone has to decide because there's some women who are completely fine dating men in Brazil or any other country and being the sole provider. There's a lot of women who Stellas who go there and get their groove back. They're like, "Ooh, I got
Mhm.
this Brazilian man who's gonna, you know, knock me off and take care of me." A lot of
Yeah.
men too, clever, men are going there and doing that same thing. So it just really, honestly, you have to be true to yourself with what you want. And at the same time, there's also a lot of Brazilian men and women who are successful, who do have really good jobs, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I have quite a few very successful Black Brazilian women who, and white Brazilian women, right? And they make good money. And
Mhm.
so even for them, they talk to me a lot about just their dating because they don't want to date a Brazilian man who makes less than them. They want to date a
Hmm.
Brazilian man who
Mhm.
makes equal or more. And so that's even a challenge because just like here in the US, you tend to find it's a little bit easier for women to make more money than men.
Yeah.
Um, in
Especially if you have a college education.
Which black women, I think, are the number one. Like,
They
right?
are.
Yes.
They
yeah,
are. They're
yeah,
tops.
yeah.
And they also get a lot of pressures from their families. And I don't mean to be speaking out of class here, but just as a teacher who has predominantly taught a lot of Black Brazilian women, they do see it a bit as trading up if they marry an Italian or a German type,
Oh yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not someone who's going to be after their money. That's somebody that they're going to be able to just connect with on a more kinetic basis than just an economic basis.
Right, right.
Yes.
And I have a couple of Brazilian friends, female women friends who they look just for foreigners, like you're saying, and it's for that reason, you know. And so it's
It's
tough,
it's tough, and it's not one where you there's like a magic pill, and you're just like,
right?
okay, this is how you deal with that. Because at the same time, Renee, and I've had this issue, is like when I've met black folks that are a bit more affluent here, sometimes they can be assholes. I'm just being straight up, because
Yeah.
it feels like they just, oh, we've got out of the favela, like we don't want to deal with anything relating to that, and they're all
No, they're
stepped
they're
up.
actually worse than most people.
Yes,
Which
they're worse. I
I'm sorry.
agree.
I'm sorry if that sounds racist, but it
Um,
No,
does when
it's the
you come
truth.
across these people who came out of the favelas and now they're like macroeconomists working for Bradesco, and
Yes,
they're wearing three-piece suits, and they're like, I'm so much better than those people.
I
And
know.
it's
It's so
like, dude, you were
complicated.
luckier. You were luckier. That's it.
Let me
Yes.
make a disclaimer: the
Yeah.
views and thoughts of Phil and Pete are not my own.
All
Yes,
right, all right,
exactly.
all right, all right. Yeah, it's just been my experience is that it's
No, but
like
yeah,
it. So I tend to just look for middle class, like which is where I'm around. I'm not a rich guy. I'm not, going to the 200
Yeah,
reais
we live in
restaurants
the
every night.
boroughs, man.
Yes,
but it's
yes,
interesting because, and I know Sao Paulo, the culture of Sao Paulo is different than Rio and
yes.
Salvador. And I
Sorry.
remember I met a
Hmm.
friend who's from Sao Paulo. She's a black woman. Lived in
Yes,
Moema, which is the rich area of Sao
yes,
Paulo.
yes.
And it was interesting. We went out to a restaurant
It's
and she
like
wasn't
Beverly
happy with
Hills.
yeah, it's like Beverly Hills. And we went to a restaurant and it wasn't right. And she complained about it. And she was like, I want my money back. And I was just looking, I was like, wow. Because I never saw anyone do that in Rio or Salvador.
Oh, I see.
And so
Yeah, you see it
like,
here
it's
all the time.
interesting.
Exactly. I
Yeah. And I
do
was
it
like,
here.
yeah,
Yeah, I do. I've
and
done it too, actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the difference.
yeah.
It's like I know my worth and I'm paying all of this money and
Hmm.
I demand great service and I demand good food. Whereas in Salvador, Rio, and other, more in the Nordeste, they're a little bit used to being a little bit more complacent and not
Yeah, that's the
arguing,
word.
yeah, not
Hmm.
fighting for their rights or what they want. They don't know their self-worth in a sense, and so there's a fine
Exactly.
line when you get to knowing your self-worth now, and that's why I say my views are different. I don't want to say that
Hmm.
they're worse or anything or
Hmm.
cocky, but they're to the point where they know their self-worth, and maybe they've
Hmm.
been treated undervalued, they've been undervalued for so long, and now they're
Hmm.
like, no, I refuse to have that. I'm not going to allow that. You know,
I get you.
um,
No, I get that. I get that vibe too. I totally get that. I think there's a mix though. I think there's
yeah,
definitely.
I'm
I've
sure there's
experienced both, where there's a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah. Like
of
your
like,
Taco Bell story was amazing.
which one? I have so many.
The one about the woman, I don't
Oh, the
remember
white
what.
lady yelling at the kids. Oh, oh,
Yes,
oh,
yes,
yes,
and she was obviously just having a bad day, and you talked her
yes,
down, and she cried, which
hmm,
is shitty because you made her cry, but at least she
yes,
realized she was wrong. Like it
yes,
wasn't this girl's fault that her Taco Bell order got screwed up. It was
yeah.
just she was having a bad day and things went wrong.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, no, guys, this is a very complex issue. We aren't gonna figure it out here tonight, but I want to move on. I want to move on because I got a few real spicy ones here, and especially number four. Number four here, guys, is really spicy. Brazilians that are secretive. Yeah, I wonder if Renee has ever dealt with this before in her life in Brazil. Brazilians who are secretive about their relationship status. Brazilians who are secretive about their relationship status. Never, never. Brazilians are always
Mm,
upfront.
I
Always
disagree with
upfront.
that, but we can talk
I'm being
about this.
facetious. I'm being facetious, David. Brazilians are very secretive. In fact, one thing that you got to look out for, this is on the opposite end of this, is that Brazilians are very open about like their family, this and that. In fact, one thing you got to watch out for is if you're dating a Brazilian, depending on how close they are to their family, you're dating their family. Like, boom, it's happening. But then I think it's a red flag when it's the other way around, when they're being too secretive because it's so not like common for Brazilians to be so secretive, but it can happen, and especially when it comes to the relationship status. If they have another family, if they're
That this I have experienced.
so Renee, yeah, let me get Renee and let me get Pete. So Renee, have you ever had this experience here? I'm sure she has.
so yeah, that same boyfriend that I was talking about, that we traveled together, very secretive. He's been over to
Mm.
my house several times. I had never been over to his house. I knew
Mm.
he had two kids. Never met them, and needless to say, that's a big part of why we're not together anymore.
Yes.
But yeah, it's very common. I've had both though. Like I said, I had my very first Brazilian boyfriend. I moved in with him. I met his mom.
Mhm.
So it really depends. You have both. You have that, and then you have some who right away they're introducing you to their family, and
Mhm.
they want everybody to know you, to see you. So it really just depends on the guy and what they have going on. Is my take. You
I
know.
agree. I agree. And I think you just have to be aware of it and know how to navigate it because there's a part of it that I think is sweet when you meet the family and everything. I've lucked out. I haven't had too many long termers down here, long term relationships with people that were super close to their family. Maybe that has to do because I'm dating in the gay world and a lot of there's issues always with gays and their
Yeah.
families. Um, so I think that's just kind of a little bit of par for the course when you're in gay relationships. But at the same time, I don't like it when it's too secretive, where you don't know anything about the person. They don't want to introduce you to any of their friends. Who's this? Who's that? Which to a point where it can feel like latch on, like Renee said, like they've latched on to you and that's it, like you're the center of their world. That can put a lot of pressure on you, as much as the opposite when they are so close to the family that it's like the sogra, the mother-in-law, is calling you every weekend. It's every weekend there's a birthday and you got to go here, and all of a sudden you're living this whole other life that you weren't exactly expecting to live, um, as the new uh, part of this family. So you got to really, really navigate that. And I think for me, this is what I would say. I don't know about you guys. Is know your limitations. Like that famous line by Clint Eastwood. A man's got to know his limitations and know how far you're willing to go. Know how many birthday parties are in your birthday party meter for the year.
Right.
How
You
many
know,
of those you can take. Go ahead.
I experienced that more in Canada though, and
Mm,
for me, like the hardest part of dating in Brazilian, and maybe that's just me, but
Yeah.
that I never got introductions to families. Like
Okay.
the girls I've dated here, like no, they didn't want me to know their family. I was like their guilty pleasure, which
Ooh.
is kind of nice. Which is kind of nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's nice to be the bad boy, but at the same time, it's like okay, my family's like 2,000 kilometers away. Yours is not that far away. Like, why can't I meet your family?
Mm.
And you kind of get the feeling that they're a bit ashamed of you. But like I said, that might just be me.
Right.
That
But
might
I
just
also
be
wonder, I wonder if they're like ashamed of their family, or
I
they
was gonna
want
say
people
this.
to
Yeah.
know, or
yeah,
see their type of living. Maybe they feel like, oh, we're used to a certain type of lifestyle, certain house, certain, look, and they're embarrassed,
Hmm.
and they don't want you to look down on them or treat them differently, you know?
I
right.
agree with that 100%. Especially when it comes, we were talking about like dating with black people, and we had a few friends. Friends of ours. Stephanie talks a lot about this. I've experienced this, where it's like they'll come to your place, but when it's time to invite you to go even to their neighborhood where they live, you're like, oh no, how could somebody that eats at a restaurant on Avenida Paulista is gonna go to like a restaurant in a favela? And it's like, dude, like for us, it's like
And
normal. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
yeah,
and this is a big difference I experienced between dating a Brazilian girl.
yes,
I wouldn't call her white. I'd say she's more
mhm,
Latino, and
yes,
actually a girl from Burkina Faso who's like 100% pure African.
uh-huh,
When she invited me to her neighborhood, it was like no, and she lived in Rio Pequeno, and not
hmm,
just in Rio Pequeno, but in like the worst part of Rio Pequeno. Like
yes,
most white people would be afraid to go there, but I used to live in Rio Pequeno, so I was okay with
yes.
it. And I walked through all these decaying buildings and these gang
Oh boy.
members, and they were yeah they let me go because it looked like I knew what I was doing, right?
Oh,
Which I
good.
did. I was familiar with the neighborhood, and I went to her house, which is really nice, and she was fine. She didn't have any of these um,
Hang-ups.
stigmas, I get.
Okay.
Yeah, hang up stigmas, whatever you want to call them,
Mm-hmm.
because she was also a foreigner. So we were just like two foreigners dating, and it didn't really matter that we were not from Brazil, we weren't from
Okay, that
Brazil.
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, it's
But
definitely.
dating like some white Brazilian girls, I had way
Mhm.
more issues because like you said, they feel like they may come off as looking inferior.
Yeah, and we were actually they were talking about this in the WhatsApp group, Renee, right before we came in, with something that's called the Vira Lata syndrome. And a
Hmm.
Vira Lata is a name for a mutt. And I think the guy's name is Nelson Rodriguez. He was a Brazilian journalist from back in the 50s or 60s. He's the one that coined this term about how like a mutt will turn back and like eat its own vomit, or just like it won't know its own self-worth. And Brazilians are constantly, they have this inferiority syndrome, and that's what it is. The vira-lata syndrome is a way to call it. It's just an inferiority syndrome. You don't think you're as good as the purebred, so you're always trying to do extra. You're always trying to wag your tail a little bit more to get more attention. And it can really affect your relationships, man, because you're like, no, I love you. Like that song, Renee, I love you just the way you are. And Brazilians just can't believe it sometimes. It takes a long time for them to really believe that, yeah, I'm into you for you. And that's it. Renee,
You know what?
inconsistent.
It's
Oh, I'm
interesting.
sorry. Go ahead, my dear.
It's
Go.
interesting when you talk, right? And it
Hmm.
just comes to me. Brazilians are very quick to kiss you, and I don't know if it's the same in Sao Paulo.
Oh,
But Salvador
yes.
real. Okay, Sao Paulo, same. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh, yeah.
you
I
meet a
think it's a
girl,
little faster in Hio, but it's pretty fast here as well.
and
Yes,
it's even
yes.
faster in Salvador. So we
True.
talk, and I'm talking, and maybe we're just having a conversation like this, about oh, I like Popeyes. The next thing you know, they're kissing you. The tongue is down your throat. Wait a minute, there was
You
no
get a
lead
kiss
up.
over at Popeyes? Oh my god! I
Like I
need to
was
go to
literally just talking about
Salvador.
how I like fried chicken from Popeyes, and next thing you know,
Yes,
your tongue is down my throat. I'm like, what?
yes.
A
Very
great,
Salvador.
great kiss. The next thing you know, 2 minutes later, they're off, and then you look. Wait a minute, he's kissing somebody else now. He's kissing somebody else,
This is
and
so Salvador, guys.
so soft. Oh, great! I get to see you, Bill. Love it. I
Just
love
a
it.
little bit, just a little bit.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so,
Mhm.
so it makes me think, like, you know, they're it they're very passionate. They can kiss you right away. They can have
Mhm.
sex with you right away, the same day,
True.
right?
Mhm.
And
Now,
good sex.
and it'll be really good. Now, I remember when I was teaching English when I first got to Brazil, and I was talking to my students, and I was like, why these guys are trying to
Okay.
have sex with me right away? And they're like, yeah, you
Yes.
got to have sex with them right away, or else they're gonna leave and they're not gonna do anything with. They're not gonna want to be with.
Yes.
You. I was like, what? So it was like almost you almost have to if you choose to. I didn't necessarily
Mhm.
choose to all the time. It just depended. But like, is Pete trying to let me see his face too?
I
We'll see.
am. You're so
We'll see.
lovely. I just don't feel right
Yeah,
not showing my
Yes.
face for just a minute.
hey, right? So
Pete and
it's like
I.
it's almost like you'll kiss right away. You might even have sex right away.
Yeah.
And that really doesn't even matter. From there, you can end up in a relationship, or you can end up dating. You can end up ficando. You can end up never seeing each other again.
Ficando. I love that.
Right?
Yes, this is true. You never know. That's the thing. It's confusing.
It's
Uh,
confusing. So
Renee, that's why
Yeah.
I here you just kind of have to go with the flow. It's so it sounds so cliche, but but that's the thing. It's like you go with the flow up to a certain point where, like, when you really want things done, you just have to like put your foot down and be like, "This is exactly what I want," and be willing to just be single for a long time until that thing
And
comes.
yeah, that's the thing that can end it too. Like
Mhm.
I had this experience. I was
Ah,
dating a
yeah.
Brazilian girl for about a year, and it was cool. Like I was going through a pretty dark time, which is normal for me, and we were going out to clubs. But when you want to talk about red flags, one of the red flags was that the reason we were going to clubs was that she knew everybody, right?
Mm,
So she could get in for free, but I had to pay. And I was
nice.
like, what the fuck, man? Like,
if
I'm
she
not
wants
talking
everybody,
small thing.
she should get me in free too.
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly. Exactly. And I'm not talking about like just going to a club. I'm talking about going to like Slayer shows, music festivals, and shit
yeah,
like this. She's like, oh, yeah, I know a guy. I'm getting in for free. You'll have to pay. And I didn't have a lot of
that's
money.
messed up. That's messed up.
That is.
Yeah. But the thing is, it seemed like we were seeing each other like 5 days a week, seven, uh, like most of the year. And eventually, like, I just took it to mean like this must mean we're together because she's not seeing anyone else. But I wasn't thinking like, where is she getting all these music passes from, right? How is
Ah,
she getting into these shows? Like,
oh,
she's
there you go.
obviously got a lot of connections. And I
Yes.
was basically her poor boy. That's what it was. Like all these other guys who were getting her into these shows were roadies and people with influence, and
Mm-hmm.
I was the guy she was slumming with, basically. I don't know
Interesting.
how she couldn't find a Brazilian to slum with, but I think she liked the novelty of slumming with a foreigner. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it came down to. And it's unfortunate because I really liked her, but like Renee says, red flags, man.
Yeah, red flags. You gotta keep yourself aware all the time, guys. By the way, you're seeing some smoke coming up here. I got good news. Look at this, Renee. You're gonna be proud of me. I have not bought a pack of smokes like regular, full of chemical smokes in about 2 months. I forgot what day it was. It was like either it was the first of something, either first of May, first of April, that I was just like, boom. We had like a holiday, and I was like, I quit, and I did. Except that I'm weaning. I'm weaning. So I did start doing the roll
So
up
he's
tobacco. This
getting
is not.
high.
This is not something else. This is tobacco. But check this out, guys. So if you're trying to get off smoking, I really recommend this, and it's got no nicotine. At first, I did like the nicotine
That's
ones for
kumbaya.
kumbaya, and it's just flowers. It's basically you're smoking flowers. It's not,
Oh,
you're not gonna get high off of it
let
or
me let me
anything.
show you mine. I make
Yeah,
kumbaya.
yeah. Oh, I was thinking about making it because definitely. So I'm doing a little bit of the flowers, and it's got no nicotine. So that's my next thing. It's like I'm weaning off of the nicotine, and it's
Yeah.
very helpful. Oh,
It
cool. Oh,
is. So I make
mhm.
it, and you can make it. You have
Mhm.
all of those stores. I feel like I should pull out my
Yes.
pipe. Let me grab my pipe. Let me show you. So I
Yeah,
actually put it
because
in my
weed
pipe,
smoking. Yeah.
but if you can kind of see close up, I have rose petals in there.
Oh,
I have
nice.
chamomile. That green
Oh,
one, that's
cool.
eucalyptus.
A Renee fez um
Um
kumbaya ela
kumbaya.
mesma. There's Eduardo, by
See?
the way, guys.
Oi, tudo bem?
Tudo bem, she said.
Prazer.
Prazer.
Yeah, so I put lavender, chamomile,
Oh,
rose
nice.
petals, things that's gonna calm me and relax me. The
Wow.
eucalyptus for a
Oh,
little
that's why I
bit.
love Renee. All right, that's why I love you. All right, you got to hit me up with this because I had found out about this. Like I heard about it like maybe 6 years ago. I was in this band and the guitar player used to smoke the kumbaya, and I thought it was kind of dumb. But now that
Yes,
I'm like getting off the smoking, I'm like, wow, it's so good, because the nicotine rush is rough, but it's psychological. Like I'm on the psychological part right now where we smoke just to kind of relax the breathing aspect. I think the nicotine aspect is kind of left. So anyway, I went off on this side journey, but
right.
just in case you see any drugs, I have to protect myself, Pete. I don't smoke marijuana, brother. So it's never anything you might see here. It's definitely 100% never marijuana. Okay, just keep that clear.
All right.
Uh,
Well, I'm
because
I'm from British Columbia, man, so that says a lot.
anyway,
So
anyway.
who is Travelmatic
Ooh,
TV?
ooh, ooh,
Because
ooh, Pete.
Sorry, I know that was loud. I know
Yeah,
that was loud.
that's
I know. I gotta
smoking.
get yes.
Who
Uh,
is Travelmatic TV? They're like,
Oh,
this is the
Travelmatic's
ayahuasca
on. Is
chat.
Travelmatic? Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah, who's
man. The chat I had frozen up here by mistake. Sorry, I didn't see people still commenting. What's good, family? What Travelmatic was on last week? He's great,
He
man. He's
was in
never.
Puerto
who is that?
Rico last
Yeah,
time
Puerto
we talked
Rico.
to him.
Andre, this is the ayahuasca lady. The ayahuasca lady. I am the ayahuasca lady. Actually, speaking of ayahuasca, guys, we got a good friend Brian Wilson. Let me see if I can get his thing up. He's got this GoFundMe uh, because he needs a kidney. Okay. And he's a real nice dude. You mentioned ayahuasca. He's actually been on the show to talk about ayahuasca. He's a practitioner, like, as Renee is. But just a little side journey here, guys. Please support our friend Brian. He
Yeah,
actually gave one of his kidneys up to his
it's
dad.
awesome.
Yep. Here we go. I was just finding his page there. So if you want to
And
look him up on Facebook, there he is.
if you are in Atlanta, hit me or
Mm-hmm.
Brian up because Brian and I will be. We are actually organizing an
Oh,
ayahuasca
cool.
ceremony in
Nice.
Atlanta. So if you're in Atlanta, uh, by chance,
You're all
um,
gonna
Mhm.
shit your pants.
nice. I've shat in my pants many a times.
So there you go. I guess you guys can. I'm trying to find a link to the GoFundMe, but there's the GoFundMe support Brian's, but I can't seem to find a link anywhere up here.
Let me see if I can send it to
Uh,
you real
yeah,
quick.
send it to me in the private chat because we had shared it a couple weeks back, but I had separated it before the show. I can't seem to find the actual
Okay.
link for the GoFundMe. But yeah, guys, if you can help him with this, it would be amazing. He's a real good dude. Uh, and yeah, I didn't know you guys were ayahuascaing together. That's awesome. That's really awesome, guys. Oh, there you go. Found it. There you go.
You found it?
Donate, support Brian.
Oh, I know you're from
Brian.
Atlanta. Where are you now?
There you go. Brian's journey. So I'm gonna send you guys this link right in the chat. So Travelmatic, by the way, I kind of got off on a tangent there. Sorry, because he mentioned the ayahuasca. But yeah, he's up in Puerto Rico. He's got a great travel channel. Okay, so guys, check out Travelmatic. He's got a great channel. Was I sharing any of that, by the way? There you go. Just in case you didn't see that. There's the GoFundMe page. There's Brian Wilson's page. But Travelmatic, yeah, he's on YouTube. Okay.
In Puerto
And you
Rico.
can check. Yeah, he's in Puerto Rico
Okay.
right now, but he comes to Brazil a lot. There you go. Follow him
Let
there
me
in his
find you,
journeys.
Travelmatic. That's the YouTube because I go to Puerto Rico a lot too.
Oh, you guys got to link up. I thought you knew each other. He's met another friend of the show, Rebecca, up in Rio, and he's a cool dude. Actually, he was on the great show, guys. I was actually listening back to this one. A really cool show about the passport bros, because that became
Mm,
kind of an issue
Travelmatic.
again a few weeks back, and he was on the show talking about that and just how to enjoy when you travel. Like, okay, we're adults. Of course, we're going to have sex. We're going to meet people. We're going to hook up, but doing it in a way that's responsible and not playing yourself, because that's what you're basically doing when you're acting a fool in another country. Uh, oh, we got Showboat on. What's up? What's up? Is that our
Hey
friend Craig?
everybody.
What's
Okay,
up, man?
Travelmatic. I'm following you on Instagram.
We might have to start coming in at 9 p. We got a lot of people on. We usually come on at 10, and then people start coming on around 10:30 ish. But yeah, we got a lot of people on
Yeah,
the
it's
live
it's hard for
now.
me though because
It's
I
hard for me
usually have a
too.
class until 8:30, right? So
Yes, yes,
yeah,
it's tough
and
for
then I
me
got to
too.
get in my 90210, so
There
that
you
really
go.
takes
There
up a
you
lot
go.
of time.
Yes, Rebecca is my Energizer Bunny friend. She is yes, I love Rebecca, man. She's got so much energy. She is incredible. But anyway, back to our topic here, Renee. What about this? We talked a little bit about rushing the relationship.
Hmm.
And this is so true, guys. Renee said at the beginning of the show, Brazilians are fast. I mean, she just said it matter of factly because it is a matter of fact. And you gotta just measure it and just know if that's where you want to be. Like me and Eduardo, we've been living together for about a year. We met, maybe it took us 6 months to before we decided to live together, because Brazilians move fast and I'm here long enough where I'm kind of like, yeah, I kind of just want that. That's like what I was, quote unquote, looking for if I were to date again, like somebody that's gonna be like partner. Like we're gonna partner up and do stuff. Like I'm past the just screwing around phase, and I had to just be what's the word, honest with myself about that. I think that's very important, and realize that that means I may be single for a very long time. And I think I was single since like what, 2014, 15, a really long time, and I was okay with it though. I wasn't like crying in the corner. So if you're not willing to just accept that what you're looking for may not be the norm, so it may take a little bit longer to find it, cool, but you'll find it.
Yeah.
It's a big country. You'll definitely find it, and when you're putting out that energy, you're gonna attract similar like energy. But tell me, Renee, when it comes to like that fastness, like how do you handle it? Like, because there's positives and negatives to it too. Because I
Mhm.
don't like to be beating around the bush. I'm 45, y'all. Like, I got to get things going.
You're young, but I love what you said because what you said was actually really, 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 really important. Important. Did I say really, really important?
Really?
Hmm. Can't
So
have too many
you
reallys.
you can't settle. You have to decide what you want. How do you want your relationship to look like? Because if you settle and you enter into something that you really don't want, you're not going to be happy and you're going to end up breaking up in anyway. And you've wasted all that time. So you have to, and this answers the question that you're asking me now. You know, you have to be clear on what you want, what your priorities are, where you're at, and what you're willing and not willing to do. And if one of those things is not having sex on the first date, if one of those things is not kissing right away, you have to have that boundary and you have to maintain it. And you have to know that you are being true to yourself. And like you said, Phil, what you want is there. It's a huge country. You have to stay true to yourself, stay true
Yes.
to who you want, who you
Mhm.
are, and what you deserve. And when you do,
Mhm.
the universe begins to conspire to assist you with that.
Ooh, yes, it
Find
Wow.
does.
you find that
Yes.
when
Yeah,
you
I
least
agree.
expect
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
When you least expect it.
This is true. It's when it's when you're not even really looking for it sometimes because you're just putting
Exactly.
out that energy naturally. So you just naturally attract that person that is right for that moment. So
Yeah.
but you got to be
And
careful. Go ahead, Peter.
the best dating advice I would give to anyone, not that it has done me it has done me some good, but not long-term good. But it's that you need to hang out at places where you will find people like you, right? So,
Yes.
for example, if you're a literature fan, go to a book reading. If you're a music fan, go to a show. If you're a sports fan, go to a sporting event. Like, go to places where you're going to meet people who have similar interests like you.
Mhm.
And you you will have some problems. Obviously, I've had a few, but there is a chance that you will find someone who is on your wavelength,
Yep.
and that's what you're
True.
really after, right? Is somebody who's on the same wavelength as you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
And
the
it
thing
seems so obvious, right? Go ahead, Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know. No, and I just want to just, piggyback on what Peter's saying, and it's so true. And for the women who might be watching, be yourself. Honestly, all the relationships I've gotten into, I wasn't wearing makeup. I was looking crazy. What I thought was crazy.
Yes.
Because they're like, wait a minute, if this is how she looks without makeup, oh my God, when she
Mm,
does put on makeup, does get dressed, she's
smart
gonna be
woman.
extra. The guy that I'm currently dating now, I met him. I went to the gym. I wasn't looking. Y'all, I walked like 2 miles and then I went to the gym and he was at the gym and then we were both like, ooh, started talking. And now next thing you know, we're like working out together and so and
Is
dating.
that
And I'm
what
like,
they call it today? Working out together.
working out
Mm,
together,
yeah.
working out, working
What workout
out.
is that? Yes.
So, to Pete's point is do what you enjoy. And I love working
Yes.
out. And even before then, I kept saying, okay, I want to start going out more. I want to start going to a bar, to sit down and meet somebody. But I'm like, I'm not really a drinker. So the bar is not the spot. And I'm like, okay, I could go to the bar and just get a mocktail, but then I'm gonna get somebody who's a drinker. And not that that's
Hmm.
a problem, but I'm not a big drinker anymore.
Yeah, that's not your vibe. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I want to start going to the museums. I want to start going to like poetry, open mic stuff.
Mm.
I gotta find those things. And then I'm not even looking. I'm like sweaty, no makeup,
Well,
shorts, t-shirt. Even though I do look cute in my shorts and my t-shirt.
I
What do you
agree, man. Like, there's nothing unsexy about a sweaty Renee. I'm telling you right now. Like, I enjoying that whole image that you're painting there. But this is so true, guys. And I this is advice that's like just basic advice anywhere you are on planet Earth. But I think it really connects to Brazil if you're here because Brazilians are so social. So go out and do social things. You're gonna meet people, guys. I went to a play with my friend Lydia invited me to. Very cool. First time I'd been to a play in a long time, and I just met somebody there. It was this girl that then we became friends for a long time. We were kind of flirty to each other actually for a little bit, but it's like I just said hi, like that's it. And I'm super awkward. I'm super shy, but I just learned Brazil kind of teaches you how to not be like that as much anymore, and that was part of the process. Just like, hi, what's up? Did you like the play? That's all you got to say. but I was in that environment where I'm going to be with communicative people. A lot of times I see people going to the clubs or going on Tinder or wherever to try to find the love of their life. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. Sure, you might be able to meet somebody at the club that's the love of your life, but as Renee was saying, maybe it's because you're a clubber too, so at least you have that in common, so you're going to be okay living that type of lifestyle. But if you're
Yeah,
just
but
like, if just real quick, but if you're just a romantic and you like reading, you like sitting at home and watching Netflix, and then you take yourself out to the bar just to meet people, you're gonna be like what Renee said. You might meet somebody cool, but he's not on your way. You're not on the same wavelength. Sorry, Pete. Go ahead.
no, I think you basically, yeah, my God, we might as well be married. You finished my sentence for me.
Oh, we are in a way.
Yeah, but no, it's like that. Like if you're just going to clubs to meet people, you're probably not going to meet the right person because all you have in common is the clubs. And the ironic thing about it is that most of them probably don't like going to clubs any more than you do. They're just going there to meet someone like you do. So you meet them, but do you have anything in common? Turns out, in my experience, no, you don't.
But
I
you might.
feel you.
I mean, you might.
You might, but
But
the
but
most
but
likely
let's look
thing
at
you
it.
are to have in common is that you both dislike club culture, and you're only there to meet somebody.
So I think
Yes.
what you're to your point, Pete, what you're saying is the same is kind of showboat says in a lot of cases people confuse great sexual chemistry with being in love when it comes to dating. Now, when you
Hmm.
meet somebody at the club, what you're saying, like what you're saying, you might not have anything in common, but there might be that physical sexual chemistry that
Of
brought you together.
course,
If you're in a club, you're
yeah.
drinking, the what both of you are going to probably be looking sexy, cute, and the next thing you know, you're having
Yeah,
sex.
you won't be looking sexy, but you will look sexy through drunk goggles.
Two drunk goggles. And so,
Yeah.
and then, and it's great, but then you're like, wait a minute, we don't have anything in common,
Hmm.
So,
True.
to your point, yes, but you never know. Because I do feel like you do never know, right? Don't go, okay, so the point is, don't go somewhere to look for somebody, you
Hmm.
know, go there
Yes.
because maybe you like to dance. And so
Exactly.
if you like to dance, you could potentially meet someone else who likes to dance. Don't go
Mm.
just because you want to meet someone. Go because this is what I want to do. Like I love
Mhm.
dancing. I don't go to regular clubs, but I'll go to a club that plays samba, salsa, bachata, merengue, compa because I
Mm.
love to dance. And so
Yes.
now I have more chances of meeting someone who also likes that type of dance. So I think overall is I think what we're all saying is do what you
Do
enjoy doing.
Do what you
exactly.
love, man.
Do what
Do
you
what
love. Do you above all else. And
you,
then, it's like RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? So you got to
That
self
that's
yourself.
not RuPaul. That's Jimmy Stewart,
Oh, it's
actually.
RuPaul. It's RuPaul. Okay. It's
No,
officially
no,
RuPaul.
Jimmy Stewart. If you can't stand your own company, you how can you expect other people to stand you?
I don't know who
Anyway,
it is.
anyway, the point
Well,
is, it's true. The point is, it's
yes,
true. Okay, you gotta love yourself. I mean, it's Jesus, really, because Jesus is talking about loving yourself. All right, because then
And
you can
Gandhi,
spread
be
the
the
love.
person you want others to be.
Yeah, it's
Be the
like it's
saint you're
ancient.
feeling.
It's so basic, like it's been taught for thousands of years, or hundreds, whatever. And it's the truth because if you're okay with you, like you're gonna be okay with whatever. Like you're gonna be okay saying, "Yeah, that's not for me, and that's for me." Oh, that's
yeah.
kind of cool sometimes, not cool most of the time, because you're okay with yourself. I just want to move along a little bit because I want to touch on a few more of these, and I am enjoying the live comments here, guys. The channel is really hot tonight. I wonder why. I wonder why it's hot tonight. I don't know. Can have something to do with somebody we got on Renee, guys. So please follow this woman. Okay, she has been a great friend to me. Like I into Pete, but I just got to say personally, guys, I am so blessed to have so many wonderful people in my life, and I count Renee as one of those. I don't know, Renee. I was kind of waxing like midlife crisis the other day. You go through these
Uh,
moments where you just kind of think about your life, and you think about the people you meet, and the places you go, and a lot about the connections that you make and the people that you feel like, you know what, this is a forever person. Like I was thinking about that with Pete. Like Pete's a forever person. Like there's no reason me and Pete are ever gonna like get in some big spat for like I know we're gonna be around till both of us are dead. Whatever comes first. And I was thinking about that with you. I'm like Renee's like one of my forever people. Like okay, we don't talk every day. Sometimes whatever. But it's like when we do talk, if it's just a month, 2 months, it's like yesterday. And you see
mhm.
how natural it is even here on the show. And she's somebody that I love so dearly, who has helped me grow so much, who has inspired me even with her YouTube channel. So I hope I do inspire her back, because I was very inspired by what you do with social media. And so I just want to tell you I love you, okay? And you really mean a lot to me, and you're one of my forever people. I know Renee's gonna be here till the last, the last. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's true for me too. Like when I got booted off of Facebook, I made a real point of reaching out to the people that I could reach out to, which
Yeah.
wasn't a lot because I lost a lot of contacts. That really
Mm-hmm.
sucked.
Yeah.
But definitely Phil was one of them. Largely because we do the podcast together, but also because he's one of my best friends in the city. And yeah, like he said, he's one of these people that I don't feel like. I feel like we could have disagreements because we have disagreements often, but
Yes.
I don't feel like we have disagreements where we would ever be angry at each other. I feel like we
Mm-hmm.
have disagreements where it would be like, okay, like that's your point of
Like a
view.
like a married couple. but a
Well, not
but a
that
but a
far.
happily married couple, right? Yeah, Pete
Yeah,
and I.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, Pete and I have some non-gay dates sometimes, guys. So we're a couple. Look at this. The real showboat here says that's real talk. To you, oh yeah, that's real talk. You have to love yourself. Many people are filling voids of themselves by looking for it in other people. Yes, enjoy the process of falling in
Yes.
love with yourself. Yes,
I love
surely you
That
have to
was my
do that,
first
guys.
mistake in my first girlfriend. My first
Mm.
girlfriend in high school,
Oh
18
no.
years old. I swear to God, I fell in love with myself, which was the worst thing to do because I'm a
Hmm.
terrible person. So, like, why would you fall in love with somebody like that? You want to fall in love with someone, and it's a cliche, but like that Renee Zellweger line, like somebody who completes you, somebody who gives you something that you don't have.
That's a
Well,
great reading
I
of
think
that,
first,
right? That's
I
oh,
think
go
the
ahead.
first thing you have
Yeah,
to do is
yeah.
make yourself a better person
Hmm.
to
Yes.
love. And then
Yes.
when you can love yourself and who you truly are, then someone else can truly love you. And
Hmm.
so if you are
Mm.
not where you're supposed to be, then yeah, how can you love if you love yourself? I mean, you're loving someone who's an a-hole, right? An asshole or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you got to make yourself better. And that's
Hmm.
part of it. Like instead of focusing on what you want with someone else, focus on making yourself a better you. And
I
that's by
agree
Hmm.
with that. I
doing
agree
your
with that.
shadow work, doing your inner child work, working out, eating right, exercising, showing yourself that you love yourself, you know, so that you're not getting sick, you're not getting high blood pressure, diabetes, all these things are going to kill you, right? And so when you get to that point of truly loving yourself, you begin to shine and your energy shifts and it changes and you begin to attract more people that
True.
are supposed to be in your life.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in your life for good reasons. Ooh, Look, this is Renee dropping jewels, 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 jewels. Guys, don't forget to follow her, please. And this is stuff that I like. That's what I was saying. I'm so happy to have people like that in my life who make me better. And Renee, you've made me better in so many ways. You are very special. Now we're gonna move on with some more things. And Pete, just real quick, because I love what Pete said about the Renee Zellweger line about you complete me, because I hate that line, because I'm like, you should already come complete, and a person should compliment you. But I like the reading that you gave to it. Made me think of it in a different way. But I think a lot of people read that line as you're the half that was missing, and I need you to complete me with. Guys, if you go down that path, yeah, it's not a happy ending, okay? Come complete,
Come
and
complete.
you are the extensions, okay? Inconsistent communication. I want to just sticking on this topic just a little bit, because Brazilians do have a lot of hot and cold behavior. They can disappear for days and then returning as if nothing's happened. We've talked a lot about this, me and
Ignore
Pete, on
your
the show.
messages for
Yes,
12 hours.
yes, we talk about this a lot, even in business, guys. When you have English students or whatever, how do you navigate that, Miss Renee, the ghosting, as they call it, right?
Oh
Ghost
my
them back.
God.
Ghost them back,
Renee, you
ghost
got the
them back.
floor here,
Live your
man.
life.
All right, Renee.
Live your life. Do you? Don't be
Yes.
sitting there, oh
Yes,
my God, why
yes.
did they call? Go out and
Mhm.
have fun. Have fun.
Basically, guys, that's what I do. Like when I first got here, I used to get a little bit offended with it, and you will. Like when it first happens, because it's different than U.S. ghosting. Because Americans are assholes all the time. So you're like,
Yeah.
okay, somebody
No, they'll
ghosted
tell
you,
you to fuck
whatever.
off before they ghost you. Oh,
Yeah, but
sorry. They will tell you to screw off before they
screw off. Yeah,
ghost
we
you
can't
because
curse,
we're
guys.
not using
YouTube, Yeah,
profanity.
yes,
But yeah,
yes, yes. Get those numbers up.
Americans and Canadians, they will actually insult you before they ghost you.
They
But
will. They will.
Brazilians,
They
they
will.
don't actually have the gonads to do that. They'll just
Yes.
like ignore your messages.
Yeah, no, it'll be gone. That's what can make you, like, when you first get here, a little bit emotional, because, like Pete just said, either Americans will tell you "f off" or you'll know. It's like we just got in a spat, and just they disappeared, whatever. But here, they're so friendly. They're so nice. They just told you,
Yeah, and the
yes,
next time
Saturday.
you see them, if you run into them on the
Yeah,
streets, they'll be like your best friends. They're like,
yeah, like
"Oh,
nothing
brother,
happened.
I haven't seen you in so long," and they'll give
Yes.
you a hug and a kiss. But it's like in your mind, it's like, dude, you had a problem.
Exactly.
Because
It's
they
weird.
can't confront and they won't tell you if they have a
Yes.
problem. It's
Yes.
so
Yeah,
hard. You have to like bring it out of them. But
Yeah,
it's so weird
Brazil
because
is not about conflict. Go ahead.
it's not about conflict. They don't want the conflict. They'll be
Yeah.
like, it's so funny because it made me think about first time a Brazilian man was like, Eu sou apaixonado para você. Like, and it's like that passion, right? Apaixonado para você. I'm like, oh, they're
Yes.
passionate
Mm.
for me. However, like
Mhm.
they really like me. And then tomorrow, well, why aren't they calling me? I message. Wait a minute, they
Yeah.
just filled their hearts, their guts to me, and I don't hear from them.
Exactly. Yes. It's the
I'm
whole thing.
confused.
They're not just nice. It's like they tell you their life story, where you're like, you really make a connection,
You
and it will screw
really
your
make
head.
a connection.
You
You
really
really
do.
make a connection.
Yeah. And then they just disappear. I
yeah. I
remember.
I was
Oh, go ahead.
actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I was actually really hurt by one of
Oh.
the best Brazilian friends I made here in my first year in Jundiaí. He was getting married, and he didn't invite me to his wedding,
Oh.
and I was hurt. It made a little more sense to me when Marcos explained it, when he's like, "Dude, this guy's only known you for like 1 year, and
Mhm.
this is like a celebration for his family, people he's known his whole life, and his girlfriend's family."
Mhm.
So it made me feel a bit better about it, but I was still a bit hurt because in my world, I'd only been in the country for 1 year. This was my best friend,
Mm.
and he didn't invite me to his wedding. So
Mhm.
yeah, it hurt a bit.
Yeah, it's rough, guys.
Yeah.
Showboat here says, don't entertain the ghosting. Also, call out and hold people accountable. Call out the BS. We're going to talk about accountability in a second here. There be, there can be some passive aggressive behaviors as well. Can be. It's not a lot, guys.
Yeah,
The main thing,
not
no,
can
the
be.
main,
There will
yeah,
be.
there will be because it's just like what Renee and I said. It's just part of Brazilian culture, and you just have to accept it that they like to avoid conflict. It's that whole thing that we've talked about before. Like they'll never say yes, or their yes is like really a maybe, no is never. It's like it's tough to figure out because Brazilians like to avoid just confirming,
Yeah.
kind of going
Yes
back to
means
the
maybe, and maybe means no.
yeah, it's like the beginning of that video that we watched about the hustling and not being able to plan. It's a mercurial world down here. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So it makes Brazilians mercurial. That you never know what a Brazilian exactly may be thinking a lot of the time. I'm talking in very general terms, by the way, guys. You know, not to stereotype a whole country. There's almost 200 million people here. But in general terms, that's part of the culture,
Right.
so it bleeds into the dating and where somebody's just maybe testing something out.
Mhm,
It's like,
mhm.
it's cool. And then they realize, yeah, this dress is not for me. Or like, oh, this dress looked good at Carnival, but now
Right.
it's not fitting the same way. It's not looking, the light's not hitting it the same way. And it just, you realize that's what it is. And like Renee said, just move on. Don't even call out because then you're going to get into these stupid arguments you don't need. It's just, it is
Yeah.
what it
You
is.
recognize it when it
Yes.
happens. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
once somebody's not returning your messages, they're not talking to you anymore. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, it's over.
Now,
So
what
move
I've done
on.
is, but one thing I have changed though, Pete, is that I don't let them just come back.
Right.
Before I used
Hmm.
And
to let
that's
that
the way
happen.
you do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I cut that out. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I see that
Yeah.
you're a fake kind of dude. And
Right.
so I'll be cordial, as I always say. I'm very cordial, but it doesn't mean that we're cool. And I learned that from Brazilians. I think I'm very good. Renee, I've had at least two or three people that thought we were friends that we weren't. Like, I think I'm
Yeah.
very good at being cordial. And I had one guy thought I was dating him, and I wasn't. I'm just very cordial. My mom taught me well.
Right.
Anyway,
Because
uh,
that is good now. Dating tips as a
yes.
woman in Brazil, if you do
Mm.
not want a man to think you are like him or you're interested, don't make eye contact with him. Look away. The minute you make eye
Mhm.
contact, that opens up a whole can of
I
worms. So you might come
know.
over there, and next thing you know, his tongue is down your throat.
I know.
I had to learn that. I had to be like, okay, I can't look at him. Let me look
Exactly.
away.
Exactly. It's
See,
But
I
I
found that making eye contact is the good way to get a kiss with no consequences. But that's just what I've learned.
but
look
I
at
love
this. Oh,
Phil.
go ahead, Renee.
I love what you said, Phil. And I think what Showboat said too. It depends on the person. Whether
Mhm.
you have to decide, okay, is this a person that I can call it out with? Is it worth trying to have that conversation? Because you have to know if it's not worth it, it's not worth it. You know, if you feel like there was really a true connection and maybe there was something going on, you can call out the BS, but it depends on how you do it, right? Like
Exactly.
you can do it in a mature way and say, hey, what's going on? Like, and then based on their answer, you can decide, okay, I'm going to cut this person out or give them another chance. But you may not, even though you call it out, you still might not know why they really did it because again, Brazilians don't like conflict. So they might not
Hmm.
really tell you the truth, as to
Hmm.
why they disappeared. And so you have to be able to read the room, feel the energy, and decide. And so I really like what Phil said. You set those boundaries. If they did it, you now know who they are. Because not everyone's going to do that. Not all Brazilians are going to ghost you. You know,
Uh-huh.
if they
Exactly.
do, then you got to say, okay, what are my boundaries? What am I willing to deal with? And then
Yep.
you decide. And if you're not willing to deal with that and be like wondering what's going on, then that's it. If they try to come back, or you change the way you see that relationship. So, like I was saying earlier, I'm not going to be worried about them. If they're ghosting me, I'm going to do me. I'm going to live my life. If they come back and I feel like responding back, I might. But now they're no longer here. Now they're here or here.
Yes.
You
Ooh,
can
you
take
got
the
tier list. I got tier list. I was telling Eduardo about this. Like, I have tier list for peoples, guys. And I'm, oh, sorry, I hit the microphone. Uh, I have tier list for people, and I'm not ashamed to say it anymore. It's like, it's just how I regulate my life. I organize. People are, and and I don't say it in a negative way. It's not because you're on this tier, not this tier, that I don't like you less or anything like that. It just means I can only rely on you for certain things. Like, it's a
exactly.
reliability tier, really, in the at the end of the day. And it's like I can rely on you for, like, okay, to
For
fix something
everything.
for me or do that for me, but that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
be
Hmm.
you just
okay
gotta
with
know.
that.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
put
and I'll be honest, talking about what Renee was saying about
Yeah.
allowing people back into your life, I
Hmm.
would say like the old adage, like fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, or sorry, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And yeah, that's happened to me.
Hmm.
The girl I was talking about previously, like, okay, we dated for like a year, and then she ghosted me, and I ran into her randomly, and the uh we'll call her witch because we're not allowed to use profanity
Okay.
here.
Ooh.
Yeah, she borrowed money from me to go
Yes.
to a club, took me with her, and of course I had to pay my own entrance fee as well.
No, this is huge.
And then she disappeared. She was gone. And I ran into her sometime later, and I was like, "You ditched me, didn't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did."
at
And
least
she
you
didn't want
honest.
to talk about it because she's Brazilian, right?
Yes.
She's like, "Yeah, I ditched you. I'm sorry." And she wasn't sorry. But that was it. That was like the level of explanation I got for this. So I would take Renee's advice and say, like, if somebody does you like that once, don't bring them back into your life.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and it seems, again, it seems like obvious advice, but it doesn't feel that way when you're living it because
Oh, when
Brazilians are
you're
so
in it,
Because
nice.
it
you're
comes
Yeah,
across as so sincere. Everyone's your best
yes,
they
that's
friend.
the
do.
thing.
Right.
Yes.
And the thing is that passion, that energy, that everything, it's like in the mix of it, you're like,
Mhm.
oh my god, wait, what happened? Because you're confused. You're like,
Oh my
what's
God,
going
what's
on?
happening
What
in the
just
kitchen?
happened? Like, you know? And
Yes,
so you just gotta remind yourself, okay, this could potentially happen. And if it
It's
does,
temporary. It's very temporary.
it's very. Oh my God, what's happening here in the kitchen? Anyway,
and like
guys,
everything is temporary. Everything is
everything is
That's
temporary.
temporary.
true. Life is
Every,
temporary.
Right. So you
exactly.
got to be
And
present. You got to enjoy. You got to have fun. And I think that's the one thing Brazilians are very good at being in that moment, in the present.
Yeah,
They
because
in
they
that
expect to
present
live
moment,
shorter lives
they
than
don't know what's
most.
going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen, like in the video. So you
Hmm.
enjoy that moment, that present. And if tomorrow's so different, you don't hear from them, you had
mhm.
now you create a whole new moment, a whole new present
Hmm.
for you.
Guys, I want to answer this question here from Justin, friend of the show, guest of the show, up in, I don't know where he's up in now, like maybe in Mina still, he's Canadian, and
Oh,
he
he's a
says
bad
a
guy.
big,
He's a bad guy. Oh yeah, and Mina's a
yeah,
bad guy.
big Q from struggling Canadian. How do you balance respect with moving things forward on a first date, or someone while out for the night? Okay, what's the most reliable indicator of interest? So I'm trying to get this exactly, Justin. How do you balance the respect with moving things forward on a first date?
I think he's asking,
Yeah,
like,
because I couldn't really
when should
Yeah.
understand
you
that.
make the first move or should she? And my advice as a fellow Canadian to
Oh, I
Justin,
see. How do you balance the respect? Okay, respecting her boundaries, but also moving
yeah,
things forward.
my
Okay,
advice is
all right.
because I know there is this feeling that sometimes the guy's got to take charge and make the first move.
Mhm.
Um, in this situation, though, I would generally say let her make the first move because she's probably going to anyway.
Exactly.
So
Oh,
so
yeah,
there's no need for you to do it and make an
right,
ass of yourself.
right.
Exactly. Man,
Exactly. I agree 100%. Because a Brazilian woman, I've learned a lot from Brazilian women. They go after what they want.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
if you haven't made the move and they're interested, they're gonna make that move.
Yeah, I mean, I've had moments at carnival where it's like I look at a girl who's like, "Oh, I like your costume," and she's like, "Oh."
Oh,
That's great. That's a great answer. But it's
yeah.
so true. It's so true. Brazilian women do not play. They know what they want. And it again, it's weird, right? Because at the same time, the country is so patriarchal and like sexist, but at the same time, it's so fast forward into the future. Brazil is Brazil. Speaking of it, so that's part of it. Inconsistent communication. People are here 1 second, they're not here the other. Oh, I keep hitting the microphone there. Guys, just getting ready to close out. I just want to hit a couple more topics real quick. One is that you really need people that respect your boundaries. Sometimes Brazilians do not, and they don't in a very subtle way. Guys, the first smell of this, like, just get out. It's not gonna get better. Like, and that's in any relationship. You're like, what's that Maya Angelou quote? Like, when people show you who they are the
Believe
first
them.
time, yeah, but the first time,
But the first time.
believe it. Exactly. Like, don't wait around. And Brazilians will show you who they are.
Mm.
And sometimes it's beautiful and sometimes it's not, just like any other human relationship. Uh, they will make it very clear. Yes, they will. I think, I don't know what we're talking about the women. The women will definitely make it very clear. Um, and a little bit on this, Renee, I want your opinion on this. Partying comes before the relationship. So Brazilians, constant nightlife, flirting with others, prioritizing social events over quality time. How do you navigate this? Like, I happen to be with somebody now that's more of a homebody, but not, which is kind of like how I am. I'm a homebody, but not. And it kind of balances itself out. But one issue I had is, in really getting into something serious with somebody after a long time, is finding somebody that could figure that balance out, where it's like it's okay to be home for a little while and then okay, now let's like go out and party, because it's like Brazilians just want to party all the time. There's always a birthday, there's
Oh,
always a
okay.
A
carnival,
barbecue, a
a
barbecue.
barbecue.
Don't forget the barbecues.
How do you balance this, man? Because it's tough.
It is so tough. It is so tough. But I guess it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Phil. Communication. Communication. You put it right on me.
Oh, I got you in the
It's
hot
been
seat
so
tonight, and
long.
you look so gorgeous.
Thank you.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you. That is me right there.
Actually, look. Let me flash that jewelry you got in your hand, because look at
Oh, I
that.
bought this in Kenya. I bought all
And
these.
those eyes and those teeth too. I
Yes,
mean, good
it's
lord.
yeah.
Everything I'm
You
wearing, I bought in Kenya.
That is
But my
gorgeous,
shirt
guys.
is from my retreats with Renee. Oops, my retreats
Oh,
that I do.
let me see. Let me see. Beautiful. Oh no, put that. Wait, Sacred Sisters Soul Retreat, Salvador Bahia, Brazil, 2021.
That was
Cool.
that was
Oh,
my first retreat.
you
And
okay.
showed a lot more than your shirt there, but that's
oh, did
okay.
I? Oh my God, what else did I show? Ooh.
Nothing that anybody minded.
Exactly.
So funny. So go back. So really, it's
By the
it's
way,
said about
save that
communication.
soul retreat info, because before you get off, I want to hear what you're up to. Okay, so save
Okay.
that info, please. But
Okay.
anyway, go
I'm
back.
doing my
Going
next
back.
retreat in Brazil in January in Salvador
Okay.
again, January
Okay.
2027. Okay. So honestly, it's communication, So because how do you balance it? It's non-confrontational communication, and it's also
Yes.
back to what you really want and how much you love this person. So you communicate with them. Hey, I would listen. I really enjoy the time that we spent together. I would love to do more of this with you. You know, it's the way you say it. Don't be like, oh my God, you're always partying all the
The way
time.
you said that, I wanted to do some other things with you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, you know, when there's a party coming up, be
Yes.
like, hey, babe, you know what? I had some plans. I thought about having a nice little romantic night with you tonight, you know,
I'm
and
down.
work
I'm down.
exactly work your
Yes,
own magic. So
exactly.
communicate what you need, what you would like
Yeah,
in a
like
way that makes
buy a wine. Yeah, let's get a
yeah.
Yeah,
bottle of wine, watch a movie. You
I
down?
and I think all relationships are basically social contracts,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you do expect something from the other person,
Hmm.
right? Like why do you get in a relationship if not for, and it has to be for more than sex, right? It
This
has
is
to be
true.
like this person is going to give you something, but you have to give something back.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you embark on these types of relationships, you have to think, what can I give to this person? And what can they give back to me?
Yeah.
And if they're not equal, then or compatible, then it's not worth it.
I'm gonna just grab my water. You reminded me I need a drink.
Exactly. Yes. No, but this is so true, guys. What Pete is saying about the having that compatibility. You know, you got to see what is gonna make that connect. It's just that here, because Brazilians are so non-confrontational, you got to just be very subtle about it if you want the relationship to last. If not, just like
Exactly.
skip out of town because you're not going to be able to change somebody, and you shouldn't want to change
Right.
somebody, right? You shouldn't even
No.
want that. Let people be themselves, just like you are allowing yourself to be yourself. I love my friends that they're friends because maybe we tried getting, but it didn't work out because they're of the life, as they say, of the streets. They want to party all the time. That's great. Like I love seeing them doing their things. That's not where I'm at, and that's fine. And I think they love seeing what I'm up to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
I've
how
I've
it should be.
outgrown that as well.
Mhm.
Well, I never thought I would, but I'm like 55 or 56 years old.
Yes, you
What
lose
year
count.
is it now? I'm 54.
2026. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 54. So yeah, I've kind of outgrown the party lifestyle, but I
Hmm.
still like it. But
Yes.
I enjoy people who like it too. But they're maybe not like the perfect match for me anymore.
Hmm.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we all go through different phases. So you got to be able to communicate, guys. If you cannot communicate, well, if you can't communicate, you got to talk to Renee because she's going to teach you how to do it. Okay. So, like she taught me how to do it. So be able to do that, guys, down here is essential. And I got just one more little thing, which is like dishonesty, half truths, lack of accountability. We talk about that just in general as being part of the culture. And again, why? Because it the way the system is set up, it's a hustling culture. Like to be
Yes.
able to make it in Brazil, you need to learn how to hustle. And
And
so,
but not just do you have to be able to learn how to hustle, but you have
mhm,
to learn how to be able to out hustle the hustler, because
yes,
it is
Yes.
a hustling culture.
yes,
Yes.
Everyone else is a hustler, so you have to be a
exactly.
better
I'm a
hustler
hustler,
than
baby.
them.
You know where I'm from.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Wait, say it again. Say it again.
There's a song, I forget. I'm a hustler, baby.
Oh, I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
Cassidy. I love that song. You can sell salt to a snail.
Yeah.
That was a great song. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler. Anyway, guys, I thought I was good up in the U.S. Like I know how to just woo, but here is where I really learned how to communicate, how to just get what I needed to get across, and yeah, so you're dealing with this inside the relationship or just getting to know people. And I tell you what, if I run into people like that, I just back out because I don't.
and
That's work. You don't want that in a relationship. You want
and
people to
that's
just
where
easy
the
and honest.
speed
Yeah.
becomes a big factor,
Uh huh.
because like in the US or Canada, like if you meet up with a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever,
Hmm.
you have a gradual period of time of getting to know each other. And
Yes.
in Brazil, it seems like you're thrown
Fast.
into these
Yes.
relationships where you don't know the person and you don't know
Exactly.
if they're hustling you. And in many
Exactly.
cases, it will turn out that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you could quickly be, where you're seeing them every day and you're
Hmm.
doing stuff together. It's almost
Hmm.
like you think you're in a relationship, but you might not really be in a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're going to eat together every day. You're sleeping at each other's house every day. Like it moves so quick where
Uh-huh.
it doesn't really give you time, like Peter's saying, it doesn't really give you time to know each other and know that you're on the same page and you really
Exactly.
like each other.
Yeah, like with the thing, because I bring up a lot about living with somebody. It's because here it's very common to shack up.
Is
People
very
do
common.
it,
So easy,
Yeah,
and
so
I
quick.
this girl from Burkina Faso,
yeah,
she
yeah.
actually asked. We've been dating for 2 months, and she sent me apartment recommendations, and I was
Wow.
like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry, are you freaking kidding me?"
Yes,
Yeah, I was like, "No, I like you, but I'm not moving in with you after dating for two
Mhm.
months. That's
exactly,
insane."
Insane.
exactly. And it's tough to navigate that, but at the same time, if you wait too long, like I'm currently living with somebody, but it's like you learn. It took a long time, guys. Time
But you
flies.
you
It's a
knew
wait.
Eduardo for a long time before he
I
moved
did,
in
I
with you.
did, I did, but at the same time, by U.S. standards, it's pretty fast. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at it, it's going to be almost 20 years in Brazil, which is crazy how time flies.
Wow.
So it took me a long time, though, guys. Gringo na shop is saying how everything here is communicated indirectly. Even my Brazilian friends say that Mineiras are the most complicated. Guys, if you're frustrated now, just remember that I'm here almost 20 years, and just recently, like in the last 5 to 6, have I started to kind of sort of understand, oh, this is what Phil needs to do to be like cool in this country in that relationship space. It is not easy. It is not easy at all. So don't get frustrated. Have fun in the
Yeah, and
meantime,
Yes.
you know?
something I
Because
would add to
go ahead.
this too
Yeah.
is it looks like a lot of a lot of dudes from North America and Europe come here and marry Brazilian girls, but they don't. What they do is they meet Brazilian girls in Europe and North America and then move
Mm,
here to be with them. So don't feel inferior
yeah.
because you didn't get that hookup or you didn't meet the right girl, because honestly most of these guys met their girls when they were in their own country.
Pete, I love that you brought this up because before, like, as I kind of just put a little list together before we came on, but one of the things that made me want to do this show was thinking about what you said right now about how relationships start outside the country and they come here, which is different than starting a relationship here. So you can't really use that as a gauge,
It's not
right?
comparable.
Yeah, and why? One of the things that I think makes dating a little bit easier here is finding somebody that's been out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts out so like half the things because you're gonna get a fool like this is a Brazilian coach, but it's somebody that's been out of the country and they see that not everybody's gonna think exactly like a Brazilian thinks, and that cuts out literally half of the issues that you have. It's just somebody that's been outside
Mm-hmm.
and they get that not everything is just this little bubble, which is Brazil. So
Right.
thanks for bringing that up because that was like one of the main reasons I wanted to do the show, like one of the main topics. Anyway, guys,
I love you, Phil.
yeah, I'm having so much fun.
Me
Uh,
too.
Yeah, I'm just looking here at some of the comments. Gringo the Shopper says, only 13 years to go. Definitely having fun decoding the enigmas. And all my best experiences have been with girls who've traveled for sure. Yeah, because that's gonna be even a point of connection because you're also a traveler. You're somebody that's okay with stepping outside of your culture because that's another thing, guys. We're talking it's so much about what Brazilians do, what Brazilians do. Hey, you
Mhm.
gotta acquiesce a little bit yourself. You gotta understand that. Hey, I can't be just hard like this is how America does it. This is how Germany does it. Don't go to another country if that's your mentality. Like
Mhm.
you're
And I'm
here
glad
because
you
you
said that.
yeah, because you
It's
want
always
to learn how to balance it being fast. Like I was gonna say, for American standards, the fact that me and him are living together is pretty fast. But I think I've been here long enough where I gauge where like, yeah, but I got a lot in, like how nowadays those Netflix series are fast. They give you like plot, like, and
right.
it's
You
like,
actually
okay,
compared your
yes.
relationship to Eduardo with Netflix.
Yeah, but in a way, it's like you need to learn how to do that editing in Brazil. You got to fill in the blanks. We
Right.
talked about this on the
Yeah.
show: high
Right.
context versus low context cultures, and what does that primarily have to do with is how much context there is in the speech. Like certain cultures use a lot of context. They'll tell you the color, they'll tell you the number, they'll tell you that. Other cultures will just say like, the ocean, man. And, oh, okay, he wants something blue in that color that's kind of big. Like they different ways to communicate. And Brazil is one of those cultures, and you gotta learn if you're gonna be here, you gotta learn how to do that type of editing.
Exactly.
Um, and
Exactly.
be accept it, know your boundaries, but allow yourself to be part of it too. And you'll have fun like getting
Yeah,
shot.
don't take
Yeah.
it too far. Don't take it too
Yeah.
far. That's the thing.
Mhm.
What we were talking about before about like who's gonna make the first move, like as a dude. I mean, in gay culture it might be different, but in
Ooh.
as a heterosexual dude, my feeling is like you don't have to make the first move because they're definitely gonna do
Hmm.
Yes. By
Yeah.
the way, Renee, have you ever made the first move down here?
Hmm.
Or do you still
No,
prefer
I
the guy
haven't.
to?
I they, they have always made the first move on me. I've
Okay.
never made the first move.
Uh,
Well,
uh,
no, I okay. So I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm thinking about it now. I've definitely flirted because I'm a. People just tell me I'm a big flirt, and I really
uh,
try to, but it just happens sometimes. So I've
yeah.
definitely flirted, and I've let them know. Um, I haven't. I've never initiated the first kiss. They've always initiated the first kiss.
Uh-huh. I
But I
see.
have made it known that I'm interested. Like if I see them, I'll go up and I'll say something, flirt with them or whatever. And the next thing you know, their tongue is in my throat, Just pop
it.
it, right? Yeah, yeah. So I was also when you brought up, living with Eduardo. I love also like in terms of the different cultures. When you live with your partner, you're considered married, right? So Brazil would
Yes.
be like su marido, like he's your
Yeah.
husband, right? You're
Yep.
his husband, and so it's ultimately I love the Brazilian culture. I know that I plan on retiring in Brazil. I love
Mm.
Brazilians. And I think that part of what you said, Phil, don't go there, especially if you're a foreigner, right? And you're listening to this. Don't go
Yeah.
there trying to change them to be like what you expect or what you're used to
Exactly.
in North
Yeah.
America, Europe. Go there having this understanding what we're sharing, what we're talking about, and saying, okay, what is it that I can deal with? What is it that I can't deal with? And
Exactly.
being true to yourself, doing your work, working on yourself, not settling, and you will meet somebody who is able to give you what you want and what you need. Because again, we can't
Mhm.
generalize and say all Brazilians are this way. You know, we're talking to you about our experiences and what we felt, what we've experienced and what our friends experience and different things. But there are Brazilians out there who are not putting dating and partying. I mean, not putting partying and all this other stuff before their partner. There are Brazilians who can have open and honest, effective communication that are not secretive. So, like Phil said, there's what 200 million people in Brazil.
Yeah.
So staying true, immersing yourself, being open to learning about the culture and open to learning and growing yourself. I've learned a lot about myself from being in Brazil since 2011. I learned about a lot about who I am, what I want in a
Hmm.
relationship, what I will accept, what I won't accept. I also learned to have fun and enjoy life because it's not that serious. Not that serious.
Hmm.
Exactly. Now, on that whole topic, I want you to tell me what's going on with you because you just said you got this connection with Brazil. You do a lot of work in Brazil. Like, what are the Renee Prandata Prem projects that are going on right now?
Yes, thank you. So I have a lot going on. I am actually in the midst of building my Unfold breathwork app. It is going to be a web-based
Ooh.
app where I'm going to have, well, I've been creating tantric meditations, mantras, breath work so that you can do under 20 minutes. Some of them are 5 minutes, some are 7 minutes, some are 15-minute meditations, breath work that you can listen to. I have, if you're in Atlanta, I do weekly breath work meditations. I'm doing my retreat in Brazil January 28th to February 4th. We're going to be doing ayahuasca, jurema, cacao,
Ooh, nice.
hape, tantric
Damn.
sexuality. This retreat is actually for men and women, couples, singles, everybody. We're going to be doing some tantric stuff up in there. Great time.
Damn. Sounds
Um,
hot.
yes, it's going to be real hot. It's going to be great. What else? I guess I always have something coming going on. So check out, my Instagram. I have a link in bio that has all of my upcoming events. I do tantric breath work, tantric meditation, tantric massage all over the world. I travel all over and I do sessions in Brazil, in the US, in New York, in DC, Atlanta, in Puerto Rico, Mexico.
She's a
I do.
traveling woman.
I'm an international woman.
There you go. There you go. That's it right there. Yeah, guys. So you can follow her there, Prand, and you'll find Hara Prandara. Did you write that in the comments section? Write that in the comments there for me if you
Okay,
can, because I'm showing your screen here so people can just copy and paste. Actually, I could have done it myself. Look at this.
that's
There you
okay.
go. Oh,
That's
you
okay.
got it. You
Yeah,
got it. Okay. Sorry
and as
about
with
that.
both Instagram and TikTok, same.
Yes. And I want to know, when is your show coming back? Come on, we're going to put some pressure on her, guys, because
I
I
know
really want her show to come
pressure.
back.
So I was just thinking about it because I think I might just do it on Tuesdays, every week on Tuesdays, and try
Okay.
to have that going consistently.
Yeah,
Um,
because you give out so much sage advice, and you can really just, I mean, now that you're traveling all over the place, you can really just add so many more layers to what you were already doing, because
right.
you just got more life experience. You've been
Yeah.
elsewhere and you can compare, contrast. So I'm looking like really forward to that. Like if you just get back on the air.
I am. Thank you, Phil. I enjoy this. I really enjoy this. And you just reminded me how much I enjoy this. So I definitely want to do it.
Yes.
The last one that I did was actually I did a little online speed dating,
Hmm.
and that was so much fun.
Oh,
So
cool.
I kind of want to do that again and just kind of get people to come on and hook them up. So with my tantric
Nice.
questions and see if they match. So that would actually be fun to do. I might just do that and mix that with the I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see, but just being on is fun, and
Yeah,
sometimes, and that's one thing that I had to learn with getting back on this show, guys. And I'm really, just really happy this show still exists, because a lot of times, Pete and I have tried many other shows that we started, stopped, this, that, and the third. But like this show has been really the cornerstone of this channel, the Brazil Expat Journal, and we're almost getting to 100, and it's crazy because it's tough to do 100 of anything, you
Yeah.
know. But the more I do it, the better I feel about it. I really love the audience out there that's connecting with us because the show's about
Mhm.
connection, and Renee, you're about this connection too.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
you're on, it's like. Mhm.
I want to throw this in there as well. Like
Oh,
when you're stuck for an idea for a show, like who do you go to? You go to the best. So you went to
exactly.
Renee.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no, you light up the whole show. In fact, like you literally light up like you're like the
She
brightest thing here
does. Oh my God!
on
Look at
the
those
screen.
eyes, those teeth.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna turn off my camera because
Man.
I feel like inferior.
Listen, and look, I tell you, this is the best Pete's audio's been ever. Like when Renee is on, Pete is sharp, man. He's like, I'm gonna
Right.
make sure I get all the cues, everything. I love you, Pete. He cracks me
I
up.
love you guys.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Oh, anyway, what's going on? Nomadic detour. Where can I find my Brazilian wife? I have no clue, dude. Okay.
Hey, you'll be
Would
looking a
You
lot
might find her in
better.
Puerto Rico.
yeah,
Yeah, or in the United States. Actually,
in
the
the
United
United
States is the
States,
most
yes.
like.
Go to Florida, Florida,
Yeah.
Miami.
Florida
Look,
is the best,
there's
or
Brazilians
California.
all over. Let me tell you,
Exactly.
everywhere I've gone, I've met Brazilians in France. I've met Brazilians. I tell
Exactly.
you no lie. I went to
Uh,
Scotland. I met Brazilians.
Ireland has a
Kenya.
lot of
Oh my God.
Brazilians.
I was
Yes.
in Kenya
Newark,
and I met
Newark,
a
New
bunch of
Jersey.
Brazilians.
Yes.
I was like, y'all are all over.
Yes. Newark. I grew up in the US, and when we had to get supplies, Brazilian supplies, we'd go either to Newark, Ferry Street. That's like the Brazilian street up there. So we'd get the guaraná, the farinha, and all the stuff that my mom like just needed, because she's from the Nordeste. She ain't eating McDonald's. Like we were cooking in that house. So we had to go and get supplies every once in a while, supply run for some ingredients. So yeah, you can find your Brazilian wife anywhere. São Paulo is the biggest city, so I will come back. Oh, I hope you do. I hope you do. Oh, nomadic detour. Is this? I think this is. Wait, tell me your name here, guys. Sometimes I think it's I don't like people I don't know on, and it's people that I know. But let me know if we've
Yes, tell me
connected. Okay. Yes. Okay, because we might have connected here. Um, yeah, like Justin. I think this is the first time I actually got Justin's name because I'm so used to just calling him Gringo na Chapa. Every time he's on, I'm like, and our friend from Canada. that that's the cue that I forgot your name again because I always just remember people's handles,
I
and they're like,
know.
yeah. So I was like, I snuck on my WhatsApp really quick. I was like, Canada. Oh, Justin. Justin's on. So sorry, dude. I love you though. Gringo the Shop is a good dude. Yeah, you be doxing me.
Yeah, my
Anyway, guys.
camera is off.
Yes, guys, it's about time to go to bed. All right. I love having you on, Miss Renee. Guys, connect with her, please. Okay. I'm gonna put this again on the screen here if I can. Let me see. Yes, I can. There you go. She's on YouTube. That's why we were asking her, hey, get back on. But you can watch some of the older shows, guys. They're really fun. I appeared on a couple of them and I had so much fun every single time. You see here, she's got her new TikTok, but it's the same name as it is on Instagram. And make sure I'm sharing that. Yes, I am. Prandara Prem underline tantra, and then we got her here on Instagram, and I love that you're playing with music with a little bit with AI, but at the same time it's like I don't know, she's doing a little bit of everything. We've actually worked together, I've made a little bit of music for her,
Yeah.
and she's just an open free soul, which is wonderful. You need people like that around you.
Hmm.
So, Miss Renee, where are you? Let me see. I gotta find you. There you are. Thank you for coming on. any final words for the night?
Thank
For
you
the
for
night.
having me. This was a great show. Great show. I had a great time. I had fun as always. And for all of it, it seemed like it was like mostly men on here.
Mm,
Um,
Mm.
so,
That's not true, actually. I think it's been about 50-50. Wouldn't you say,
oh, has
Phil?
it?
no, no, just
Yeah.
tonight though. Tonight it
No,
seemed like it
tonight.
was more men.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, of course, because
Yes,
yeah,
it's the
that's what
two
I'm
yes,
of
talking
us
about
and
tonight.
one
I
of
don't
the.
know.
yes.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
a
about tonight.
different. It's a different energy over here, Renee.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So tonight has been like so it's been mostly
Yes.
men.
Mhm.
But what I would definitely say is just communication. Know what
Yes.
you want, what you're looking for. Don't go to
Exactly.
Brazil just looking for a wife.
Yes,
Oh my
Go
please,
God.
enjoy the
please.
culture to have fun
Yes,
Go
and
to
yes.
Brazil to get away from your wife, if anything.
better yet.
That's great.
Yes. Um, go there, be open, have fun, learn about the culture,
Yes,
enjoy yourself, and
exactly.
And be
yeah,
yourself.
and be
And
yourself.
be yourself. Yes,
And work on
Brazilians.
yourself so you can fall in love with a good version of you.
Hmm.
And
Great.
so that you can be completely whole and complete for when you find your one that you're both
Ah,
holding.
yeah, and you guys will last a while, which is really important, guys. Find your forever people down here. They're here, okay? Uh, but you got
Yeah,
to be
or
willing.
find them before you come, which is a question that we were just asked. Like, where do I find my Brazilian wife? You're probably more likely to find them in Florida than you are in Brazil.
Exactly, and then they'll bring you here to meet the family. So
Exactly.
that is
Maybe,
very, very common. Very,
maybe
very
they
common.
might.
Anyway, guys. Uh,
Bunda
uh,
Staples Jr.
oh my God. All right. Anyway, yes,
All
men's
right.
night, guys.
It
Behave
is a
yourself, boys.
midnight.
Behave yourselves, boys. Look, I'm gonna play my outro music real quick and tell you guys that I'm going on vacation in July. So the Brazil Expat Journal is gonna take a little break. I might come on maybe one night because I'm talking to somebody that I really want to interview. He has a prosthetic leg down here, and he's going to talk about the science behind that. It's real state of the art, and the story. He's just a cool dude, just the way he tells this story about what happened to him. So if that happens in July, we'll do a show. Otherwise, I'm taking a break. But I want to thank everybody that's made this show grow this year. It's going to continue growing throughout the year, and we have a very special guest confirmed for show 100, but I'm not going to tell you who it is, but it's somebody very, very special. And Renee, thank you for coming on. Guys, I
Always
will
a
see you
pleasure.
soon. Yes, and check me out on Instagram. I'm always posting stuff on there. Phil Ray OFC. Check me out there to see music and just see where I am on my vacation. I'll be posting stuff. Bye.